Chapter 1699. The evil cultivator knew that it would be difficult for him to defeat Lin Feng and the Empress alone, so he chose to leave. Lin Feng and the Empress did not chase after him either. This evil cultivator was good at using poison and had a powerful treasure on him. He was not easy to deal with. They did not want to force this evil cultivator into a dead end. If this evil cultivator decided to fight to the death, it would not be worth it. Lin Feng waved his hand and took 10 grains of dragon crystal rice. He then smiled and said, "We'll split these 10 grains of dragon crystal rice equally. Do you have any objections?" The Empress nodded and said, "Of course not. If young master wants to take all of them, I have no objections either." The Empress's words were so alluring that it seeped into his bones. Lin Feng felt like he was floating. "I can't be charmed by this woman. I can't be charmed by this woman." Lin Feng was secretly on guard. He turned to look at the Empress and said helplessly, "We can be considered old acquaintances, so please don't use your charms on me, okay? If you continue like this, we won't be able to have a pleasant conversation." The Empress smiled and said, "I didn't use any charms on young master. I'm just naturally charming." Lin Feng smiled bitterly. It was just as the Empress had said. She was naturally charming. Her every action and even her every word. She could charm anyone. There were not many men who could resist the Empress's charms. Lin Feng said, "I won't take advantage of you either. 5 grains of dragon crystal rice each. This is mine, and this is yours." Lin Feng took 5 grains of dragon crystal rice. He then handed the other 5 grains to the Empress. After the Empress accepted the grains, she smiled and said, "Are you interested in working with me again? I know a place with more than 40 grains of dragon crystal rice." Lin Feng said in surprise, "You didn't collect that much dragon crystal rice? It seems like that place is very dangerous. A terrifying stone race has been nurtured there. Without help, I don't dare to take the risk." The Empress said, "Stone race." Lin Feng's expression became serious. The stone race was the most terrifying race, and their cultivation was heaven-defying. Very few cultivators dared to provoke the stone race. If they really provoked the stone race, it would be no different from courting death. However, those who were brave would starve to death. Thus, Lin Feng to take the risk. He said, "Before we go, we should find a place to refine the dragon crystal rice." The Empress nodded and said, "Follow me, I know a good place." The Empress was leading the way and Lin Feng was following behind her. Admiring the Empress's figure from behind, it was really beautiful. The Empress turned her head and looked at Lin Feng in a seductive way. "Prince, are you admiring my body?" asked Lin Feng shyly. To not to say to not to young. Since the Empress had already seen through him, Lin Feng might as well admit it. He nodded and said, "Yes, such a perfect body. Shouldn't a man admire it?" The Empress licked her lips flirtatiously and said, "If young master likes me, I will definitely fly to you like a moth to a flame. I like you very much too." Lin Feng muttered to himself. He didn't know if the Empress was being serious or just teasing him. This woman was unfathomable. He reached out and wrapped his arm around the Empress's waist, smiled and said, "If you have feelings for me, then I have feelings for you. Let's have an in-depth conversation today." The Empress giggled and gently stepped away from Lin Feng. She smiled and said, "I like to forget about each other. That is the highest level of intimacy between men and women." Lin Feng said, "It seems like we aren't on the same path. I don't like to forget about each other. I like to do it on a mountain." The Empress charmingly rolled her eyes at Lin Feng and said, "Forget about each other can also be done on a mountain, but that depends on whether young master has the ability to do it." It wasn't a problem for him to talk dirty with the Empress, but it was impossible for him to take advantage of her. Along the way, it was quite interesting for him to tease the Empress. After a short time, Lin Feng followed the Empress to the place she had told him about. This place was 50,000 meters underground. The Empress opened a temporary cave for cultivation in the middle of a 100-meter-tall boulder. After Lin Feng and the Empress entered, the Empress sealed the entrance with a restriction. The two then found a place to refine the dragon crystal rice. The dragon crystal rice had a significant effect on one's cultivation. Previously, Lin Feng had only refined 4 grains of dragon crystal rice to break through from Nihility God Stage 8 to Nihility God Stage 9. This showed how amazing the effects of the dragon crystal rice were. Now that Lin Feng had obtained 5 grains of dragon crystal rice, he was naturally looking forward to how much these 5 grains of dragon crystal rice could increase his cultivation. Lin Feng started to refine the dragon crystal rice. As time went by, the dragon crystal rice was gradually refined by Lin Feng. The pure energy of the dragon crystal rice was completely absorbed by Lin Feng. This pure energy could be used to refine one's magic power. It could make one's magic power purer. The transformation of one's cultivation was actually the transformation of one's magic power. When one's magic power reached a certain level of purity, it would complete the transformation. The transformation of one's magic power would increase one's cultivation. This time, after refining 5 grains of dragon crystal rice, Lin Feng's cultivation did not break through. This was normal. After all, he was going to break through from Nihility God Stage 9 to Nihility God Stage 10. The amount of dragon crystal rice consumed would greatly increase. However, even though he did not break through, Lin Feng's cultivation had reached the peak of Nihility God Stage 9. He was only a step away from breaking through to Nihility God Stage 10. At this time, the Empress had also refined 5 grains of dragon crystal rice. From her surprised expression, one could tell that she had obtained great benefits. She might have even broken through. Lin Feng asked, "Are you interested in exchanging divine abilities?" The Empress asked with interest, "You want to exchange for my great banishing technique?" TSK, not only are you beautiful, but you're also smart. You actually guessed what I wanted to say. Lin Feng praised. The Empress smiled. Of course. No one can compare to my beauty, and my intelligence is also unparalleled. The Empress was proud, and her pride came from her bones. Of course, she had the right to be proud. She was beautiful and smart, so no matter what she said, no one would find it strange. Lin Feng said, "You can state your conditions." The Empress said, "I want your great calamity technique." Lin Feng nodded. "No problem." He took out a jade tube and sealed all the information regarding the great calamity technique inside. He then said, "The cultivation method for the great calamity technique, as well as some of my understanding of the great calamity technique, have all been sealed in this jade tube." What a straightforward person. The Empress took out a jade tube and handed it to Lin Feng. Lin Feng held the jade tube and used his divine sense to sense it. Then, he revealed a look of joy. The jade tube contained the complete cultivation method for the great banishing technique, one of the 3,000 great Taoists. Chapter 1700. The great banishing technique was a powerful divine ability, and it was one of the 3,000 great Taoists. Now, he had finally obtained it. Lin Feng was naturally overjoyed. The Empress, who had obtained the great disaster technique from Lin Feng, was also very happy. The two of them decided to comprehend the new divine ability before leaving. If there was anything they didn't understand, they could ask the other party for guidance. It took about 3 days. During these 3 days, Lin Feng and the Empress talked a lot and discussed a lot. Lin Feng's gains were huge, and so was the Empress's. Both of them had successfully comprehended the divine abilities they had obtained. After that, Lin Feng and the Empress left and headed to the place the Empress had mentioned. Halfway there, they discovered that 2 groups of cultivators were engaged in a fierce battle. These people were fighting over dragon crystal rice. There were a total of 14 grains of dragon crystal rice, and they were all being restrained. The 2 groups of cultivators were fighting to the death, and one of them was actually from the Dong family. It was Dongzhua's group. Enemies were bound to meet. Lin Feng didn't expect to meet the Dong family again so soon. "You know them?" Seeing Lin Feng's cold expression, the Empress's heart skipped a beat, and she asked softly. The Empress was indeed smart. She also knew how to read people's expressions. Lin Feng said, "The side with the upper hand is the Dong family, one of the top 10 families in the northern barbarian state. I have some personal grudges with this family." The Empress asked, "You want to snatch those grains of dragon crystal rice?" Lin Feng said, "I plan to, but I need to see if there's a chance. The old man leading the Dong family is at least at the 6th firmament of the true God realm. If we act rashly, we might die without a burial ground. So, we need to be careful. The Empress nodded and said, then let's observe for a while and see if there's a good chance to act. The strength of the group of cultivators fighting with the Dong family was also quite impressive. However, the True God stage expert on their side was only at the 5th heavenly layer of the True God stage. After being injured by Dong Zhuo, his battle strength was greatly reduced. The people of the Dong family probably wanted to kill all of the cultivators, so they didn't intend to let them go. Originally, there were more than 20 cultivators in the group, but it didn't take long for more than 10 of them to be killed. Only 7 people remained. Dong Zhuo, you old dog. Even if we die in your hands today, in the future, my fellow disciples from the Shangqian sect will definitely avenge us. That True God Stage 5 cultivator looked at Dong Zhuo with eyes filled with hatred. Lin Feng had never heard of the Shangqian sect. However, he reckoned that it was a powerful sect. However, he reckoned that there was still a gap between it and the Dong family. Lin Feng was actually quite puzzled. Even if Dong Zhuo wanted to snatch the dragon crystal rice, there was no need for him to kill everyone from the Haiqian sect, right? If someone managed to escape and this news was leaked, they would have completely offended a major power. At this moment, Dong Zhuo sneered and said, Tang Ming, you have a Great Void ancient talisman left behind by the Great Void Emperor. You think that no one knows about this, but you don't know that when you obtained the Great Void ancient talisman, I was watching from afar. However, at that time, my cultivation was inferior to yours, so I didn't have the ability to kill you and take the Great Void ancient talisman. But now, my cultivation has surpassed yours, so I can kill you. In this underground world, even if I kill you, as long as I take care of the aftermath, no one from the Shangqian sect will know about it. When I obtain the Great Void ancient talisman, I can comprehend the secrets of the Great Void ancient talisman and find the legacy of the Great Void Emperor. If I really obtain it, I might even be able to break through to the Great Void Emperor in the future. After Dong Zhuo finished speaking, he launched an even more ferocious attack. The cultivators from the Dong family also cooperated with Dong Zhuo to besiege the 7 surviving cultivators from the Shangqian sect. No wonder Dong Zhuo wanted to kill Tang Ming and the others. It turns out that Tang Ming actually obtained a treasure left behind by a great emperor. Lin Feng couldn't help but think, Pooh, pooh. Under the frenzied attacks of the Dong family experts, another 2 cultivators from the Shangqian sect were killed. Only 5 cultivators from the Shangqian sect remained. Tang Ming roared, Dong Zhuo, you evil thief. Even if I die today, I will drag you down with me. Tang Ming's body was actually burning. Tang Ming began to burn his life source. This was to raise his cultivation. The other 4 cultivators from the Shangqian sect did the same. Their bodies were enveloped in flames. Their cultivations were also rising steadily. This was the burning blood technique passed down from the Shangqian sect. By burning one's life source, one could increase one's battle prowess. This was a sacred art that would only be used when one was desperate. Now, these cultivators from the Shangqian sect seemed to know that they were going to die without a doubt. Therefore, they no longer had any scruples. One by one, they began to fight with their lives on the line. Tang Ming's strength was originally not Dong Zhuo's match, but after using the burning blood technique, Tang Ming's cultivation increased greatly. He was actually able to temporarily stall Dong Zhuo. As for the other 4 experts from the Shangqian sect, they were not afraid of death and fought with the experts from the Dong family. These 4 cultivators were also ruthless people. One by one, they self-destructed their bodies. Before they died, they took more than 10 experts from the Dong family with them. Seeing this scene, Dong Zhuo's expression became extremely gloomy. He used an even more powerful sacred art to attack Tang Ming. It seemed that Tang Ming could not hold on any longer. You go and collect the dragon crystal rice. I will deal with Dong Zhuo and the others. Lin Feng said. Okay. The Empress nodded. The 2 of them quickly rushed over. At this time, Dong Zhuo slammed his palm towards Tang Ming's head, wanting to kill him. Lin Feng took out the revered sword tomb. 4 treasured swords flew out. They slashed towards Dong Zhuo. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Tang Ming was very powerful. At this moment, if he saved Tang Ming, Dong Zhuo would not be able to use his full strength to deal with him. Therefore, Lin Feng did not hesitate to attack. He could not let Dongjua kill Tang Ming. Of course, it would be better if the 4 treasured swords could kill Dongjua. Sir, be careful. The 5 or 6 surviving experts of the Dong family shouted at the same time. Dongjua was shocked. He turned around and swept out his palm, knocking back Lin Feng's 4 treasured swords. However, Dongjua had lost his best chance to kill Tang Ming. Tang Ming threw a punch at Dongjua. The two of them attacked each other. Tang Ming was sent flying by Dongjua. Dongjua looked at Lin Feng. His eyes immediately turned blood red. He roared angrily, "Little bastard, you don't want to go to heaven, but you want to go to hell. Today, I will kill you." Dongjua was very terrifying. He stretched out his hand and slammed it down, condensing a huge energy palm in the air. This palm covered hundreds of acres of land. Dongjua wanted to kill Lin Feng and Tang Ming in one fell swoop. The other experts of the Dong family rushed towards the Empress, wanting to kill her together. Lin Feng sneered, "Dongjua, you old dog, I am not your opponent, but I have many treasures. I can kill you with them." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng took out more than 10 divine weapons. Tang Ming also knew how terrifying Dongjua's attack was. He gritted his teeth and took out more than 10 extremely precious jade talismans. These jade talismans were Tang Ming's most precious treasures. However, in order to fight against Dongjua, he had to use them. These jade talismans were densely packed with a large formation that could be detonated. Once it detonated, its power would be released, and it would cause an extremely terrifying lethality. Boom! All the divine weapons and jade talismans exploded. The destructive energy instantly flooded the area, causing the energy palm that Dongjua had condensed to dissipate. The other experts of the Dong family were also submerged in the energy of the explosion, and they all vomited blood. When the energy wave dissipated, Lin Feng, the Empress, and Tang Ming had all disappeared. Dongjua was very powerful. The explosion of the divine weapons and jade talismans did not hurt him. However, when he saw Lin Feng, the Empress, and Tang Ming disappear without a trace, Dongjua roared like a madman. "Little bastard, you're ruining my plans again. I'll tear you to shreds." Dongjua's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. His hatred for Lin Feng couldn't be washed away even if all the water in the world was washed away. After Lin Feng and the Empress obtained the dragon crystal rice, they quickly left. On the way, they saw Tang Ming. Tang Ming seemed to be deliberately waiting for them. Chapter 1701. When he saw Lin Feng and the Empress approaching, Tang Ming cupped his fists and said, "Thank you for saving my life." Lin Feng replied, "Don't mention it, fellow Taoist. Unfortunately, our cultivation levels are limited, so we couldn't save your fellow disciples." In truth, Lin Feng couldn't be bothered to care about the lives of Tang Ming's fellow disciples, but he still had to be polite. Tang Ming revealed a sorrowful expression. "I must kill that bastard Dongjua and avenge my fellow disciples." Wasn't looking for Dongjua's suicide mission? Lin Feng muttered to himself. Was this guy trying to drag him and the Empress to seek revenge on Dongjua? Only an idiot would do such a thing. In any case, Lin Feng wouldn't do such a thing. There was no benefit to it. Of course, he wouldn't do it even if there were benefits. Dongjua was too strong, and the 3 of them together were no match for him. Seeking revenge on Dongjua now was no different from seeking death. Lin Feng said tactfully, "That bastard Dongjua deserved to die, but his cultivation level is too high. Even if you want to seek revenge, you have to wait until you're fully confident. Otherwise, the consequences will be unimaginable." Tang Ming said, "Fellow Taoist, you're right. Don't worry, I won't seek revenge on Dongjua for now. Besides thanking you, I also want to extend an invitation to you." "Oh, you're inviting me?" Lin Feng was puzzled. Tang Ming said, "I'm sure you've heard about the ancient talisman. To tell you the truth, I've been studying the ancient talisman for thousands of years. Now, I'm finally about to comprehend its secrets. Once I've fully comprehended the ancient talisman, I'll invite you to the place of inheritance of the Great Void Emperor. I wonder if you're interested in doing so?" Lin Feng was very interested. The Taishu Emperor was also a famous expert in history, who knew how terrifying his orthodoxy and legacy were. If he could make a trip to the place of inheritance of the Great Void Emperor, he might even be able to obtain some heaven-defying treasures. Thank you for your invitation, fellow Taoist. I wonder how we'll contact each other when the time comes? Lin Feng asked. Tang Ming took out a purple spiritual jade and handed it to Lin Feng. He said, "This is a voice transmission immortal jade. As long as I am in the 9 provinces, even in any remote corner, with this immortal jade, I can pass the message to you through another immortal jade." There's actually such a treasure? Amazing! Lin Feng took the voice transmission jade and clicked his tongue in wonder. After that, the two sides exchanged a lot of information. This included both parties' identities, names, and so on. Originally, Lin Feng only knew that this person was called Tang Ming. He didn't know much about his identity. After Tang Ming introduced himself, Lin Feng was shocked. Tang Ming's identity was not simple. He was actually the son of the previous sect master of the Qian sect. Lin Feng told Tang Ming that he was a rogue cultivator. Lin Feng came from the Sky Martial continent. Currently, the 9 provinces was a foreign world to him. In the 9 provinces, Lin Feng was indeed a rogue cultivator. Therefore, it was not a problem for him to introduce himself like this. From the beginning to the end, Tang Ming did not mention the 14 grains of dragon crystal rice that the Empress had collected. This person clearly knew how to conduct himself. He probably saw that Lin Feng was young and had a strong cultivation base, and knew that Lin Feng's future was limitless. That was why he deliberately came to befriend Lin Feng. This kind of thing was very common in the world of cultivators. He wanted to befriend some young cultivators with potential. Perhaps in the future, the friend he befriended would become a super expert. When the time came, he would also benefit. Even the forces behind him would benefit as well. This kind of thing was very common in the world of cultivators. After the two sides separated, Lin Feng and the Empress left. The Empress smiled and said, "This Tang Ming has good eyesight. He can see the potential in you, so he wants to place a big bet on you. I've heard of this Haiqian sect before. It's a power that's neither too strong nor too weak. Above it, there are the 9 sects, 10 clans, and the 36 countries suppressing it. As for the lower powers, it's very difficult to pose a threat to a power like the Haiqian sect. A power like the Haiqian sect will definitely want to expand. Tang Ming's father is a person who is successful in maintaining his position, but not enough to expand. Therefore, in his generation, the Haiqian sect has not developed much. Tang Ming seems to have some ambition, and when he inherits the Haiqian sect's position in the future, if he wants to continue expanding the Haiqian sect, it will definitely not be possible to rely on the Haiqian sect's own strength. He will need the help of some friends. Lin Feng said, "If I have the ability, I can help him when the time comes." The two of them did not stay for long and quickly left, finding a place to cultivate in seclusion. Then, there were 14 grains of dragon crystal rice, 7 grains each. Lin Feng began to refine the dragon crystal rice. Waves of powerful energy surged in his body. His magic power. Once again, it was refined by the energy of the dragon crystal rice. After an unknown amount of time, Lin Feng's body rumbled loudly. The magic power in his body surged violently, growing rapidly. "I've broken through." Lin Feng opened his eyes, revealing a look of joy. After refining 7 grains of dragon crystal rice, he had successfully broken through to level 10 of the empty god realm. Soon, the Empress woke up. The Empress had a satisfied look on her face. It seemed that she had gained a lot. Dragon crystal rice is such a treasure. No wonder the true dragon clan was so powerful back then. They ate dragon crystal rice every day. How could their cultivation not improve quickly? The Empress could not help but sigh. Lin Feng said, "What a pity. The method to cultivate dragon crystal rice has been lost. If we could obtain the method to cultivate dragon crystal rice and cultivate it ourselves, that would be heaven-defying." The Empress shook her head and said, "That's impossible. Actually, even if we had the method to cultivate dragon crystal rice, we wouldn't be able to cultivate dragon crystal rice because the order of heaven and earth has changed greatly. There is no suitable soil for dragon crystal rice to grow. Even the true dragon clan is unable to cultivate dragon crystal rice now. Moreover, it seems that the true dragon clan no longer exists in this world. What a pity. What a pity. Such food. It's going to be extinct. Lin Feng could not help but sigh. The Empress nodded and sighed. In this world, there are many things that humans can't do. The two of them rested for a while before setting off again, heading towards the place that the Empress had mentioned. This place was 100,000 meters underground. Not long after, Lin Feng and the Empress arrived at this place. This place had formed a huge abyss. The abyss was as black as ink. Above the abyss, there were dozens of small golden dragons swimming around. These small golden dragons were very alert. Although Lin Feng and the Empress tried their best to conceal their auras, they were still discovered by the small golden dragons. These small golden dragons quickly dove into the abyss and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Chapter 1702. It's down there, the Empress said, pointing at the abyss. Lin Feng frowned and said, "What kind of creature is the stone clan in the abyss?" "It's a stone wolf," the Empress said. "Stone wolf?" Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. Lin Feng had seen some stone tribes before, including stone men and stone beasts. However, he had never seen a stone wolf before. Theoretically speaking, the stone tribe could give birth to anything. Anything that existed in the world could be born from them. If Lin Feng saw a group of stone ants one day, he wouldn't find it strange. Although the stone wolf is sleeping, if we go down there rashly, we'll definitely wake it up. I tried to lure it out before, but it didn't fall for it at all. It didn't show any signs of coming out. The Empress said, the stone tribe was too powerful, so it would be very dangerous if they really fought. Lin Feng grinned. The Empress asked curiously, "What are you smiling about?" Lin Feng said, "Actually, collecting dragon crystal rice isn't too difficult." "Oh, you've already thought of a way?" The Empress looked at Lin Feng in pleasant surprise. "Look, what's this?" Lin Feng waved his right hand, and his celestial clone flew out. During this time, Lin Feng had been letting his celestial clone absorb the power of faith and continuously refine origin crystals. The celestial clone's cultivation had risen very quickly, and it had already reached the 10th stage of the divine flame realm. Of course, ordinary people couldn't afford it. Only Lin Feng could afford it. Whether it was in the exiled world or the Tianwu continent, people were constantly building temples for him to generate power of faith. In addition, Lin Feng had a large amount of wealth on him. That was why the celestial clone's cultivation had risen so quickly. Of course, the reason why the celestial clone had risen so quickly was because it was a puppet clone. A puppet clone only needed to provide enough energy to break through. However, cultivators were different. Apart from needing energy, they also needed to consider many other factors. For example, to break through a major realm, one needed to comprehend the Tao. This was because the Tao contained within each major realm was different. The Tao of Nihility God Realm and Divine Flame Realm cultivators were clearly different. The Tao of Divine Flame Realm cultivators was much stronger. And to break through a small realm, the cultivator still needed to temper his magic power. Increase the purity of magic power. Because cultivators like Lin Feng had accumulated too much energy, they had very high requirements for the grade of their energy. Therefore, origin crystals could no longer completely satisfy his needs. Only a higher grade of heavenly treasure, such as the dragon crystal rice, could increase Lin Feng's cultivation in a short period of time. If he were to refine origin crystals to increase his cultivation, it would take a very long time. The Empress's eyes lit up when she saw Lin Feng's doppelganger. She asked, "Are you planning to send your clone to collect the origin crystals?" Lin Feng nodded. "That's exactly what I was planning to do. But, even if we join forces, I'm afraid we won't be a match for the stone wolf." The Empress couldn't help but frown. The stone wolf was very powerful. Once it went berserk, it would be extremely terrifying. At that time, it would indeed be possible to kill Lin Feng and the Empress. Lin Feng said, "We can activate the Nine Devils painting. If it really doesn't work, we can only burn our life force to increase the Nine Devils painting's power. We have a long lifespan now, so for the dragon crystal rice, burning a few 100,000 years of our lifespan is no big deal." Of course, burning one's lifespan was the worst option. This was because burning one's lifespan could very well damage one's life force. Once one's life force was damaged, It would be a very heavy blow to a cultivator. The slightest carelessness could cause one's cultivation to go berserk and regress. The Empress bit her lips and said, "Wealth comes from danger. If you want to obtain a treasure, if you don't have the spirit to risk your life, how can you succeed? All right, we'll do as you say." The Empress was a very opinionated woman. She was also a woman who could be ruthless to herself. Lin Feng, the Empress, and the deity's doppelganger flew towards the abyss. This abyss was about 20,000 meters deep. At the bottom of the abyss, there was a gloomy and cold aura. This place seemed to be a passage to the netherworld. Lin Feng saw that there were many small golden dragons flying in the abyss. Altogether, there were more than 50 of them. It was more than what the Empress had said. The Empress said softly, "It seems like this is the nest of the dragon crystal rice." After these dragon crystal rice transformed into small golden dragons and ran out, they returned to the nest one after another. This time, there are more than 10 golden dragons than the last time I was here. Lin Feng nodded. Then, he used a seal to seal the exit of the abyss to prevent these small golden dragons from escaping. A wool. A low howl came from the depths of the abyss. Then, a 5-meter-long, 3-meter-tall giant wolf walked out. This giant wolf was a greenish-gray stone wolf. The stone tribe had a very strict division. Different colors of the stone tribe had different talents and future achievements. For example, the sacred battle ape could be said to be the most famous stone tribe in history. This existence had a golden body. The golden-bodied stone tribe was considered to be of a very high level. The greenish-gray stone tribe was considered to be of a middle level. Of course, even the stone tribe with the lowest talent, they were comparable to the top geniuses of the human race. That was why these stone tribe members were so terrifying. "Lowly creature, you should be glad that I didn't kill you last time. You're courting death." The stone wolf walked over step by step. Obviously, this stone wolf recognized the Empress. As a stone tribe member, the stone wolf was extremely proud. He did not care about Lin Feng and the Empress. In his opinion, killing these two human cultivators was as easy as flipping his hand. Whoosh! The stone wolf leaped up and turned into a green light as it quickly rushed over. The stone wolf's speed was simply too fast. It was so fast that Lin Feng could not see the stone wolf's movements clearly. This made Lin Feng very surprised. One had to know that Lin Feng's speed had always been one of his trump cards. But now, compared to the stone wolf, he actually had such a big disadvantage in speed. He really didn't know how shockingly fast this stone wolf's speed was. Lin Feng did not dare to hesitate and quickly took out the 9 demons painting to suppress the stone wolf. If the stone wolf got close to them, with the stone wolf's speed and its heaven-defying body, they would not be able to escape. Lin Feng knew that he and the Empress could not resist the stone wolf's violent attacks. The only thing they could rely on now was the imperial weapon in their hands. This was their advantage. The stone wolf did not have any magic treasures, so it could only rely on its own strength to kill them. Boom! After the 9 demons painting was taken out, it emitted a terrifying wave of energy. Under the combined power of Lin Feng and the Empress, the 9 demons painting attacked the stone wolf. Chapter 1703. Bang! It was accompanied by an earth-shattering sound of a violent collision. The 9 demons painting collided with the stone wolf. The stone wolf was unusually strong. After blocking the 9 demons painting's attack, it raised its huge paw and slapped the 9 demons painting again. The stone wolf's huge claws slammed onto the 9 devils' portrait, sending it flying. "Even if you have an emperor weapon, you are still as weak as ants in front of me." The stone wolf looked coldly at Lin Feng and the Empress. It walked toward them step by step. With every step it took, its aura increased significantly. How terrifying! When Lin Feng sensed the stone wolf's qi, he couldn't help but take a deep breath. He did not dare to hesitate and started burning his life force to activate the 9 demons painting. 100,000 years of life force was burned in an instant. The energy formed by burning his life force was poured into the 9 demons painting. Like Lin Feng, the Empress burned 100,000 years of life force to strengthen the 9 demons painting with Lin Feng. With Lin Feng and the Empress's 200,000 years of life force, the Nine Demons painting emitted a terrifying emperor aura. The dormant power of the Nine Demons painting was awakening bit by bit. A treasure like the Nine Demons painting was too high level. Cultivators at Lin Feng's level could not fully unleash the Nine Demons painting's power. However, this was not absolute. Burning one's life force or using treasures like the deity elixir could still activate the Nine Demons painting and summon its terrifying power. Once a treasure like the Nine Demons painting was unleashed, it was an attack that could destroy the world. Just like now, the dormant power of the Nine Demons painting was summoned. Although Lin Feng and the Empress had burned 200,000 years of life force, they could only summon a small part of the Nine Demons painting's power. However, its power was already strong enough. The Nine Demons picture released a power that could destroy the heavens. Then, it rushed toward the stone wolf again. Bang! The Nine Demons painting and the stone wolf collided again. This time, the Nine Demons painting showed its power and forced the stone wolf to retreat. Go and collect the dragon crystal rice. Lin Feng looked at his celestial state clone. Whoosh! The avatar went around the stone wolf and rushed toward the dragon crystal rice that had turned into golden dragons. The stone wolf roared and turned around, wanting to chase after the deity's avatar and destroy it. Said Lin Feng, smiling coldly. Your opponents are us, said Lin Feng, smiling icily. He and the Empress continued to manipulate the Nine Demons painting to attack the stone wolf. Although the stone wolf was powerful, he didn't dare to be careless when facing the Nine Demons portrait's attack. After all, the Nine Demons painting was a monarch weapon. The destructive power of such a magical treasure was too great. If he dared to be careless, he might really be killed. The stone wolf and the Nine Devil picture collided once again. The Nine Devil picture's power had increased tremendously, so the stone wolf was once again sent flying. The stone wolf was thoroughly enraged. He roared, Damn it! You have angered me. Today, you will all die. Following the stone wolf's furious voice, demonic chi surged from the stone wolf's body. As the monstrous demonic chi spread out, the stone wolf's aura instantly became extremely terrifying. It was as if a cultivator had suddenly changed from the nihility god realm to the divine flame realm. Clearly, this was the stone wolf's true combat power. The strength of the stone wolf made Lin Feng and the Empress hair stand on end. The stone wolf waved its huge claws and slapped at the Nine Demons portrait. Bang! Bang! After 3 consecutive slaps, the Nine Demons portrait couldn't withstand the stone wolf's attack. The Nine Demons portrait dimmed, and its power was greatly reduced. Oh no! The stone wolf has gone crazy. Lin Feng's expression suddenly changed. He didn't dare to hesitate and continued to burn his lifespan to strengthen the Nine Demons portrait. This was something he had to do. The stone wolf was too powerful. At this moment, the Nine Demons portrait couldn't withstand the stone wolf's attack. Therefore, he could only burn his lifespan again. This time, Lin Feng burned 200,000 years of his lifespan to strengthen the Nine Demons portrait. The Empress also knew that the situation was very dangerous, so she didn't hold back. She also burned 200,000 years of her lifespan. Lin Feng and the Empress had burned a total of 400,000 years of lifespan. Under the support of 400,000 years of lifespan, the Nine Demons portrait's power was greatly increased. Lin Feng and the Empress controlled the Nine Demons portrait to attack the stone wolf. Who is sacrificing their lives? Who is awakening the Nine Demons portrait's power? At this moment, a deep voice came from the Nine Demons portrait. The voice was ancient and mysterious. It was as if an eternally existing deity was awakening. The Nine Demons portrait's weapon spirit. Lin Feng was pleasantly surprised. Could it be that the Nine Demons portrait's weapon spirit was awakening? If the weapon spirit of an Emperor-grade weapon was awakening, that would be terrifying. Even the stone wolf wouldn't be a match for the Nine Demons portrait. However, the voice soon fell silent. The Nine Demons portrait's weapon spirit hadn't awakened. Although it hadn't awakened, the Nine Demons portrait's power was much stronger than before. The Nine Demons portrait and the stone wolf clashed again and again. Although the stone wolf had a slight advantage, It was impossible for it to disperse the 9 demons' portrait's power in a short time. Lin Feng burned 300,000 years of his lifespan. The Empress burned 300,000 years of her lifespan. The two of them together burned 600,000 years of their lifespan to strengthen the 9 demons' portrait. It wasn't strange for the 9 demons' portrait to have such power. At this moment, the Celestial Realm clone also displayed his power and forced the small golden dragons back to their original forms. Those small golden dragons turned into dragon crystal rice. Then, the Celestial Realm clone collected them. In the end, more than 50 grains of dragon crystal rice were collected. Just as the Celestial Realm clone was about to return, suddenly, cracking sounds could be heard. A mountain in the depths of the abyss cracked. Lowly creatures, how dare you intrude into the stone beast abyss? No one can save your lives. A cold voice suddenly came from the cracked mountain. When that voice appeared, Yi Zichen was stunned. Even the stone wolf trembled in fear. The stone wolf was such a terrifying creature, yet it was still scared to this extent. Obviously, the owner of the voice was even more terrifying. Lin Feng and the Empress looked at the cracked mountain in horror. They saw a huge green stone tiger that was 10 meters long and 6 to 7 meters tall. It was ferocious. Oh my God, there's a stone beast. And it's a stone tiger. After seeing the stone tiger, Lin Feng and the Empress felt their scalps go numb. Facing the stone tiger, Lin Feng didn't even have the courage to resist. It was hard to imagine how terrifying the stone tiger was. I'm afraid we're dead. Lin Feng and the Empress looked at each other and smiled bitterly. The stone tiger walked step by step, and a terrifying murderous intent enveloped Lin Feng and the Empress. Lin Feng kept thinking of a way to deal with the stone tiger, but he couldn't think of a way. The Empress was the same. Her beautiful face was very pale. The situation in front of them was really hopeless. I'm going to eat you. The stone tiger opened its mouth and wanted to swallow Lin Feng and the Empress. At that moment, a burly man descended from the sky. The appearance of that man made the originally domineering Shi, whose expression changed abruptly, and he quickly retreated. It's him. When he saw the man, Lin Feng couldn't help but widen his eyes. Chapter 1704. In the past, Lin Feng had seen a mysterious man in the ancient battlefield of gods and demons. He wore ancient clothes, had messy hair, and had a full beard. He looked like a barbarian who lived in seclusion deep in the mountains. At that time, Lin Feng had vaguely heard that the barbarian had appeared once 80,000 years ago. In the blink of an eye, 80,000 years had passed. He had once again appeared in Tianwu continent. After that, Lin Feng met the Taoist priest, the great Taoist priest, and told him about the mysterious cultivator. Wu Liang Taoist had turned pale with fright. Wu Liang Taoist seemed to have some understanding of this cultivator from 80,000 years ago. However, no matter how Lin Feng asked, Wu Liang Taoist did not reveal any more information. Now, this mysterious cultivator had appeared here. While Lin Feng was shocked, he also revealed a look of joy. This person was an abnormally terrifying existence. From the change in Shi, whose expression after seeing him, it was enough to explain many things. Lin Feng and the Empress felt the pressure on their bodies disappear, and they could move freely. Who are you? Why did you enter the stone beast abyss? Shi Hu asked with a gloomy expression. Shi Lang did not speak, but looked at the barbarian as if he was facing a great enemy. The barbarian walked step by step into the abyss. He must have come for some special reason, but he did not say anything in the face of Shi Hu's questioning. It was difficult for others to guess his purpose. Lin Feng and the Empress were also very curious. At this time, they actually had a chance to leave, because Shi Hu and Shi Lang were all focused on the barbarian and did not pay attention to them. Thus, this was the best time to leave. However, Lin Feng and the Empress did not choose to leave, because they were very curious about the situation in front of them. They did not understand why the barbarian had come here. Thus, they wanted to find out. Furthermore, the barbarian clearly did not have any enmity towards the two of them. This was also the main reason why Lin Feng and the Empress dared to continue staying here. If the barbarian had any enmity towards them, Lin Feng and the Empress would have left long ago. Don't come over. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite. Shirhu threatened loudly when he saw the barbarian walking into the depths of the forest. How arrogant was Shirhu! If there was any disagreement, he could just kill them. But now, facing the savages, Shirhu only dared to threaten them. Instead of attacking directly, this was enough to explain a lot of things. The strength of the savages. It was unimaginable. Hence, Shirhu was extremely fearful and hoped that the barbarians would take the initiative to retreat. However, the barbarians continued to press on without any intention of retreating. Shirhu had no other choice. His eyes flickered with a ferocious glint as he occasionally let out a manic and uneasy voice. The stone wolf did the same. It let out a low growl and looked at the barbarians with its cold eyes. Stone tiger and stone wolf want Savage to leave. They don't want him to enter the depths of the abyss. Could it be that there is something shocking in the depths of the abyss? Are these stone tigers and stone wolves actually guarding that astonishing item? Lin Feng said in surprise. The Empress nodded her head. She felt that what Lin Feng said made sense. Roar! Roar! Finally, Shirhu and Stone Wolf attacked the barbarians. The two beasts roared and leaped toward the barbarians. Their speed was as fast as lightning. Even Lin Feng couldn't see their speed clearly. Especially Shirhu. His strength far surpassed the Stone Wolf's. The Stone Wolf could more or less see the trajectory of his attack. However, Lin Feng couldn't see the trajectory of Shirhu's attack. He could only see a flash of green light. He really didn't know how fast Shirhu's speed was. Facing the incoming stone tigers and stone wolves, the barbarian's attack was very simple. He raised his right hand and sent out two consecutive palms. Bang! Bang! Two dull sounds of collision were heard. Shirhu and Stone Wolf were sent flying by the barbarians. The two powerful stone beasts couldn't even resist the barbarians. Clang! Clang! A loud sound shook the sky. The ground shook. The two stone beasts' huge bodies fell heavily to the ground. They rolled over a dozen times before coming to a stop. Crack! Crack! The stone wolf's body cracked. It was like a broken piece of porcelain. Such an injury was naturally an incomparably serious injury to the stone wolf. Shirhu's condition was slightly better than the stone wolf's, but it wasn't much better. More than a dozen huge cracks appeared on Shirhu's body. His body began to crack. The stone tribe didn't have blood. If they had blood, these two stone beasts would have been bleeding a lot. The two stone beasts struggled to get up, although they were severely injured. However, the two stone beasts were still charging toward the barbarians without fear of death. The barbarians looked indifferent. He raised his right hand and wanted to get rid of the two stone beasts. At this moment, a voice came from the deepest part of the distorted world of darkness. You are no match for him. Back down. After the voice came out, Shirhu and Stone Wolf retreated. The barbarians didn't continue to attack the two stone beasts. Instead, he looked into the dark world and said, I came to get that thing. Dong, 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 dong. Footsteps came from the depths. Lin Feng and the Empress held their breaths. It seemed like Shirhu and Stone Wolf were guarding an extremely terrifying creature. Now that the creature was about to appear, they wondered what kind of existence it was. The barbarians said that he came to get that thing. What did the barbarians mean by that thing? That thing doesn't belong to you. The creature in the darkness said. He finally walked out. When they saw the creature, Lin Feng and the Empress couldn't help but gasp. It was a stone man with 3 heads and 6 arms. But now, the 4 arms of the stone man seemed to have been torn off. Among the 3 heads, only half of the left head was left. The other half seemed to have been chopped off. The right head had been chopped off completely. Only the head in the middle was intact. This creature from the stone race had suffered too much damage, but he survived. This was the creature that Shirhu and Stone Wolf were guarding. That was left by an old friend for his child. The barbarian said coldly. The savage's voice was ice cold. You dare to be greedy? So what? It wasn't left for you. It has nothing to do with you. Why get involved in this mess? The stone tribe creature said coldly. When I met him, I was very weak in the snow and I almost froze to death. He took me in to take back his thing. The barbarian's voice was intermittent. Chapter 1705. That was a period of time that the savage would never forget. During that time, the heavens were in chaos. Countless people lost their homes and became refugees. Demons and monsters ran rampant. Many places were like purgatory on earth. Seeing the people around him die one after another, he, who was only 8 or 9 years old, knew that perhaps one day, a cold corpse in a corner would be his. On that snowy day, he was too cold. He hid in a corner beside the door of a mansion, shivering from the cold. He originally thought that he would definitely die, but he didn't expect that a child around his age would pity him and save him. The child who saved him was a disciple of that large family. He was called Yuan Shi. It was different from the wealthy life of a large family's disciple that others imagined. Yuan Shi's life was also very difficult, because Yuan Shi's father died rather early, leaving behind an orphan and a widowed mother. Yuan Shi's mother was also sick. Yuan Shi had to take care of his mother, and then help the family do some miscellaneous jobs to earn some money. Because he was also a disciple of that family, Yuan Shi also had the right to cultivate. It was just that he couldn't get cultivation resources. But Yuan Shi never gave up, because he knew that the only way to change fate was to have great power. The barbarian in his childhood followed Yuan Shi's side. Yuan Shi gave him a name. Yi. Yi was the Yi of the night. At that time, the savage didn't have a surname. An orphan like him couldn't have a surname. And the surname Yuan was very noble. Yuan Shi didn't have the right to give the surname Yuan to Yi, but even without a surname, the child savage was very happy, because he had a name. Later, Yuan Shi began to secretly teach Yi how to cultivate. Perhaps it was after following Yuan Shi. Yi knew what was called hope, responsibility, perseverance, hard work, and never giving up. No matter how hard life was, Yuan Shi never complained. Until 5 years later, everything changed. Yuan Shi's mother's condition worsened. Yuan Shi knelt in front of the main branch's door for 3 days and 3 nights, hoping to beg for a pill to save his mother. But the main branch wouldn't waste a precious pill on someone like Yuan Shi's mother. Yi ran over, crying, and told Yuan Shi the news of his mother's death. That year, Yuan Shi was only 13 years old. When he was 6 years old, his father died tragically outside while completing a family mission. 7 years later, his mother also died of illness. Yuan Shi wanted to bury his mother's body in the West Mountain. This was the place where the Yuan family members were buried after they passed away. However, Yuan Shi's mother's corpse was thrown out. This was because Yuan Shi's mother was only a commoner. He had no background. With such a background, if her husband was still alive, or if the husband is dead and the son is very capable, there was still hope to be buried in the West Mountain. However, Yuan Shi's father was already dead. Yuan Shi was only a 13-year-old boy, and he didn't have the ability to bury his mother's body in the West Mountains. Most of the time, a wife's status depended on her father. A mother's status depended on her son. These two sentences were very reasonable. Yuan Shi's father had passed away, and he was too young. He didn't even have the right to have his mother buried in the Western Mountains. Yuan Shi begged bitterly, but was mercilessly kicked out of the door. Who knows how many trash from a branch family like you there are in my Yuan family? It's good that you're dead. It can save my Yuan family a portion of food. The saved portion of food can be used to raise a few more spirit beasts. It's much better than raising trash like you. The main branch cultivator's mocking words provoked Yuan Shi. He carried his mother's body and left. He buried his mother's body in a low, barren mountain. From now on, my surname is no longer Yuan. From now on, I will follow my mother's surname. My surname is Lin. My name is Lin Shi. Sooner or later, I will make those people kneel in front of my mother's grave and repent to her. The youth kowtowed. Under the pouring rain, he left with Yi. The savage's thoughts seemed to have returned to that ancient time, a time that he would never forget in his life. Too many things had happened after that. The savage was no longer the Yi of the past. But no matter what kind of powerful figure he became, there were many times. It was a period of lush green leaves. It was something he would never forget. The stone tribe member wouldn't hand over the item just because of the savage's words. He said coldly, "Your old friend died because of this item. If you don't want to die because of this item, you'd better leave quickly." The savage's voice was cold. "What do you know? You will never know. If he is truly upright in the end of his existence, is so strong." The stone creature said coldly, "That person is already dead. I have no interest in the matters of a dead person." The savage said coldly, "Even if you are the stone emperor of the stone race, seize him someday. He will kneel and kowtow to him, and you, what are you even, something? You actually dare to disrespect him?" Boom. The savage took action, slaughtering towards the stone clan creatures. What a joke. A person with a rotten name dares to compare himself to the stone creature's emperor? Does your old friend have the right to make the stone creature kowtow to him? I think he doesn't even have the right to carry the stone creature's shoes. The stone creature's voice was cold. He raised his fist and attacked the savage. Bang! The two powerful beings collided. The entire abyss began to shake, and the surrounding void began to collapse. Their strength was simply too strong. "Go and kill those two despicable humans," Sherhu said in a low voice. "Roar!" The stone wolf roared. Next, Sherhu and the stone wolf pounced towards Lin Feng and the Empress. "Let's go," Lin Feng said, and quickly left with the Empress. Although Sherhu and the stone wolf were powerful, they were still seriously injured. Their speed was greatly affected, so they could not catch up to Lin Feng and the Empress. After successfully escaping from the abyss, Lin Feng and the Empress divided the dragon crystal rice equally. Each of them received 28 dragon crystal rice. The relationship between a man and a woman is as simple as water. Forget each other in the pugilistic world. The Empress said softly and left. Lin Feng pursed his lips. Forget each other in the pugilistic world? The relationship between a man and a woman should be deep and intimate. After muttering to himself for a while, Lin Feng did not stay and quickly left the underground world. "Master, it's great that you're fine. I've been worried about your safety." Seeing Lin Feng come out, the four sacred birds hurriedly said. Lin Feng sat cross-legged on the back of the four sacred birds and said, "We can't stay here for long. Leave quickly." The four sacred birds heard the order and spread their wings. They turned into a ray of white light and flew into the distance. Soon, he disappeared into the horizon without a trace. Chapter 1706. Lin Feng and the four sacred birds returned to their abode. Then, Lin Feng went into seclusion. This time, he had obtained 28 grains of dragon crystal rice. Could this amount of dragon crystal rice help him break through to the Godfire realm? Therefore, Lin Feng was looking forward to it. He started refining the dragon crystal rice. As time passed, Lin Feng's body became stronger and stronger. His cultivation base was also rising. Soon, he broke through from the early stage of the 10th level to the middle stage, then to the late stage, and finally to the peak of the ethereal god realm. Finally, he broke through to the half-step Godfire realm. At this moment, Lin Feng decided to try igniting the Godfire. Igniting the Godfire. He could break through to the Godfire realm. However, just as Lin Feng was about to ignite the Godfire with his heavenly flame, faintly, Lin Feng heard a voice in his head. "Heavenly fire will not be extinguished. I want to devour. Evolve." That voice resounded in his mind again and again. Then, the golden dragon divine fire, the purple earthcore fire, and the black flames god fire seemed to have sensed something and started jumping violently. That mysterious voice seemed to be calling out to the three heavenly flames. The heavenly flames sensed it. Only the heavenly flames have this ability. Is there a heavenly flame in this lost world? Besides, it seems like that heaven flame wants to devour my three types of heaven flames. In the world of heaven flames, the strong heaven flames will try to devour the weak heaven flames to evolve. That heaven flame wants to devour my three types of heaven flames. Obviously, it's stronger than my three types of heaven flames. Otherwise, it wouldn't have dared to be so greedy. It actually wants to devour my 3 types of heaven flames at the same time. It seems like it's very confident in devouring my 3 types of heaven flames. Lin Feng was shocked. He opened his eyes and withdrew his heavenly flames. He didn't choose to break through. The 4 sacred birds looked at Lin Feng in confusion and asked, "Master, what's wrong? Why don't you break through to the Godfire realm in one go?" In the 4 sacred birds' opinion, Lin Feng already had all the conditions to break through. First, the first point. Lin Feng had long since comprehended the various Daos contained within the divine fire realm to an extremely profound degree. After all, Lin Feng's soul force had already reached the 6th level of the divine flame realm. The comprehension of the Tao of each level was closely related to a cultivator's soul strength. Generally speaking, when one's soul strength broke through to a certain level, such as the Godfire realm, one would be able to quickly comprehend the Tao contained within the Godfire realm. Secondly, Lin Feng had the heavenly flame. Igniting the divine flame required fire. The stronger the flame, the more significant the increase in cultivation when one ignited the divine fire and broke through to the divine fire realm. The heavenly fire was naturally the best flame to ignite the divine fire, and Lin Feng had 3 types of heavenly flames. Among them, the golden dragon divine flame was ranked the highest among the 3 heavenly flames. It was one of the 72 heavenly flames. The golden dragon divine flame was ranked 42nd. Using the golden dragon divine flame to ignite the divine fire was an excellent choice. In the end, Lin Feng's accumulation was strong enough, so his body was able to ensure that he could successfully ignite his own divine flame. Therefore, no matter how one looked at it, Lin Feng seemed to have no reason to give up. Lin Feng stood up and said aloud, "I heard someone calling me." "A call? What kind of call?" The 4 sacred birds asked, puzzled. "A call from the heavenly flames. When I was about to ignite the divine fire, my divine will and the golden dragon divine flame completely merged as one. However, at that moment, I vaguely felt a strong call from somewhere in this world. It was calling for the 3 heavenly flames in my body." Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. Could the rumors be true? The 4 sacred birds muttered. Lin Feng looked at the 4 sacred birds and asked, "What rumors?" "Rumors say that a powerhouse from the netherworld died in the lost world in the past. That powerhouse from the netherworld was said to be a vice-hell overlord of the 18 layers of hell. His identity was frightening, and that vice-hell overlord controlled a type of heavenly flame called the hellfire. This heavenly flame is ranked 24th among the 72 types of heavenly flames. Could it be that the hellfire is calling for the 3 heavenly flames that Master controls?" The 4 sacred birds said. Lin Feng excitedly grabbed the 4 sacred birds' wings and shouted, "Hellfire? Is this true?" The 4 sacred birds said, "Perhaps it's true. That place is very dangerous. Vicious beasts run amok, and there are several extremely powerful vicious beasts. That's why I don't dare to go there normally. I only heard about it, but I'm not sure." Lin Feng took a deep breath. It seemed that he had made the right decision not to directly break through to the divine fire realm. If what the 4 sacred birds said was true, there was the hellfire there. Then, using the hellfire to ignite the divine fire might increase one's cultivation by 3 or 4 times than using the golden dragon divine flame, or even more. After all, the hellfire. This was the 21st ranked heavenly flame. Its level was too high. The hellfire. If it really exists, I have to get it no matter what. Lin Feng took a deep breath, because he knew how valuable a heavenly flame like the hellfire was. If he used the golden dragon divine flame to break through to the divine fire realm and then fought with a cultivator, he might be evenly matched. However, if he used the hellfire to break through to the divine fire realm and fought with the same cultivator, he might be able to instantly kill the other party. The hellfire's use was not only to greatly increase Lin Feng's cultivation when he broke through to the divine fire realm. One had to know that the heavenly flames themselves had powerful attacks. The hellfire was ranked so high among the heavenly flames, and its attack power was even more powerful. Lin Feng's self-created, heaven-burning fury. At the current stage, it had fused with 3 heavenly flames, and its power was already unimaginable. It was one of Lin Feng's trump cards. But what if he fused with the fourth heavenly flame, the hellfire? How terrifying would the heaven-burning fury's power be? Think about it. Lin Feng felt extremely excited. Let's go. Bring me to the place you mentioned. Lin Feng looked at the four sacred birds and said. Then, he sat on the back of the four sacred birds. The four sacred birds flapped their wings. Then, they turned into a bolt of white lightning and rushed out of the cave abode, whistling above the mountain forest. They flew towards the ancient mountain forest. That mountain forest was called the Heavenly Star Mountain Range. It was said that the mountain peaks in the mountain range were all formed by fallen stars. On the way, Lin Feng discovered that many cultivators were heading towards the Heavenly Star Mountain Range. But this was normal. Since the Heavenly Star Mountain Range might have the hellfire, then it was also possible for it to have many other treasures. Naturally, it would attract a large number of cultivators. Of course, these cultivators who were heading towards the Heavenly Star Mountain Range might not know that there was the hellfire in the Heavenly Star Mountain Range. Lin Feng asked around from the cultivators who passed by and found out that these cultivators were heading towards the Heavenly Star Mountain Range because they heard that an ancient tomb had appeared in the Heavenly Star Mountain Range. However, these cultivators who were heading towards the Heavenly Star Mountain Range didn't know the details. Lin Feng muttered in his heart, could that ancient tomb be the tomb of that vice-hell lord of the netherworld? Chapter 1707. More and more cultivators gathered at the Heavenly Star Mountain Range. Originally, the deepest part of the Heavenly Star Mountain Range was surrounded by restrictions. Even the most powerful beasts in the Heavenly Star Mountain Range didn't dare to enter casually. However, the restrictions were quickly disappearing. A huge tomb appeared in their line of sight. Once the restrictions completely disappeared, the cultivators would be able to enter. When they arrived at the Heavenly Star Mountain Range, they saw a large number of cultivators gathered around. Many cultivators were wandering around the periphery. Heavenly fire! Heavenly fire! Suddenly, an excited voice sounded in Lin Feng's mind. The voice became clearer. It was the voice that called for the heavenly fire. Is this the fire spirit of the infernal netherworld fire? Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. If the fire spirit of the infernal netherworld fire was still alive, it would be more troublesome. Such a powerful heavenly fire. The fire spirit was still alive. How powerful would its cultivation be? Just thinking about it made people involuntarily feel a kind of feeling of horror. Of course, Lin Feng was no longer the same as before. Although he knew that the infernal netherworld fire might be very difficult to deal with, he wasn't afraid of anything. He had many trump cards and supreme treasures. If he fought the fire spirit of the infernal netherworld fire, even if he wasn't a match for it, Lin Feng believed that he could still escape. He waited in the periphery. Many cultivators from the major factions arrived one after another. The appearance of such a huge tomb naturally attracted the attention of many cultivators from the major factions. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. He saw Dongjue. Clearly, Dongjue had also received the news and rushed over. Apart from that, he also saw some experts from the Chu clan and the Merfolk clan. They were the experts from the Chu clan and the Merfolk clan who wanted to snatch the monkey wine back then, so Lin Feng still had a deep impression of them. Apart from the experts from the 9 states, Lin Feng also saw a few powerful beasts. All of them were ferocious. No one dared to provoke those beasts. Lin Feng guessed. Those beasts were most likely the overlord-level beasts in the Heavenly Star Mountain Range that the 4 sacred birds had mentioned. Master, can you sense the heavenly fire's existence? The 4th holy bird asked. Lin Feng said, I vaguely sense something. I'm guessing. He's probably in the Great Necropolis. If Master can really refine the Hell Netherworld flame and use it to ignite his own godly flame, that would be heaven-defying. At that time, Master would be able to instantly kill many true gods. The 4 holy birds grinned. Lin Feng said, the prerequisite is that you can refine the hellfire. As time passed, more and more cultivators arrived from various places. Meanwhile, the barrier protecting the Great Tomb continued to weaken. Finally, 5 days later, the Great Tomb's restrictive spell was completely gone. Rumble. A loud sound was immediately heard. Crack, crack. Immediately after, the great tomb cracked open. There was a huge passageway leading to the depths. After seeing the cracked tomb, many people excitedly rushed towards it. Swish, swish, swish. Cultivators swarmed into the great tomb. Lin Feng also flew towards the great necropolis. When he arrived in front of the great necropolis, Lin Feng stopped. He couldn't help but look at the huge stone tablet behind the great necropolis. The stone tablet was 100 meters tall. However, on the stone tablet, it was empty. There was nothing written on it. The nameless tomb? Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. If it's the Vice-Hell Overlord's tomb, it shouldn't be a nameless tomb. Also, who built such a huge tomb? It's really strange. Lin Feng had many doubts in his heart. This great necropolis was full of doubts. He circled around the nameless tomb. After carefully studying it for a while, he didn't find anything special. Only then did he enter the great necropolis with the 4 holy birds. After entering the great necropolis, he found that the great necropolis was densely packed with tunnels that looked like ant nests. Each tunnel was about 3 to 4 meters in diameter. The 4 holy birds transformed into a palm-sized bird and stood on Lin Feng's shoulder. Lin Feng chose a tunnel and entered it. He soon found that the tunnels in the great necropolis could be said to be connected in all directions. Many of the tunnels were connected to each other. There's a dragon bone here. In one of the tunnels, a cultivator shouted loudly. Everyone ran over to take a look. Lin Feng heard the shout and also ran over. In the depths of the tunnel, there was a huge magma lake that was about 1,000 square meters in size. A dragon bone floated in the magma lake. It was unknown how long it had been dead. The magma in the magma lake was still boiling. Do you think there's some kind of treasure in this magma lake? A cultivator asked. Another cultivator said, a place like this, even if there's a treasure, it's not worth the risk. A dragon died, so there might be something terrifying hidden inside. Many people felt that this cultivator's words made sense. However, there were also people who were brave enough to say, wealth comes from danger. What's there to be afraid of? Let's go down and take a look. About a dozen cultivators joined together and used their magic power to condense a magic power light barrier to protect themselves. Then, the 10 cultivators entered the magma lake. However, they didn't appear for a long time. They're not dead, right? Someone muttered. They're definitely not dead. There are so many people. Even if they died, they wouldn't have died silently. Could there really be a treasure? A cultivator muttered. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. More cultivators entered one after another. Soon, news spread that a lot of phyrosaur stones had appeared below. The phyrosaur stone was also a type of origin crystal. However, it was an extremely rare origin crystal because it was a fire-type origin crystal. Among the origin crystals, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth elemental origin crystals were the rarest. This caused an uproar, and many cultivators rushed in one after another. There's so many phyrosaur stones here. Could there be some kind of secret under the magma lake? Lin Feng muttered. He also created a magic power light barrier that enveloped him and the 4 holy birds before entering the magma lake. There were hundreds of cultivators collecting phyrosaur stones below. As soon as Lin Feng landed at the bottom of the lake, he noticed something was moving under his feet. He raised his foot and saw a fiery red turtle. Oh no, it's a flaming corpse turtle. Master, hurry up and leave. It's a corpse turtle that can devour gods. The 4 holy birds screamed in fear. Lin Feng had never heard of a flaming corpse turtle. There were no flaming corpse turtles in the outside world either. They were probably extinct in the immortal ancient era. However, there were still some in the lost world. He didn't dare to hesitate and flew out of the lake. At the same time, he shouted, "There's a flaming corpse turtle that can devour gods here. Hurry up and leave." Many cultivators were collecting phyrosaur stones when they heard Lin Feng shout. Many cultivators pursed their lips because they didn't see any corpse turtles. So what if they found a corpse turtle? There were so many deity realm experts. Couldn't they deal with a corpse turtle? As for Lin Feng's claim that the flaming corpse turtle could devour gods, these cultivators didn't believe him at all. Corpse turtles were just the lowest type of insect. How could they devour gods? Therefore, many people didn't take Lin Feng's words to heart. Of course, There were also some cautious cultivators who heard Lin Feng's words and flew out with Lin Feng. In the end, Lin Feng and a dozen other cultivators flew out of the lava lake. Then, a terrifying scene happened. The entire world of lava began to tumble. In the rolling lava lake, there were countless fiery red corpse turtles the size of a palm. In just a breath's time, the lava lake returned to its calm state. The densely packed corpse turtles had disappeared. However, the cultivators collecting phyrosaur stones in the lava lake didn't move at all. Obviously, those cultivators were devoured by the flaming corpse turtles. Lin Feng and a dozen other cultivators were as pale as paper. Fortunately, they ran out in time. If they were a moment later, they would have been devoured by those flaming corpse turtles. Those flaming corpse turtles were too terrifying. If a heavenly god realm expert was in the lake, they would probably die. Chapter 1708. Scared the hell out of me. Scared the hell out of me. The four sacred birds cried out. Even now, they were still scared. It was too scary, making their hearts palpitate. Thank you for your reminder, brother. The cultivators who survived all thanked Lin Feng. It was really lucky to be able to survive this time. Caution is the parent of safety. The ancients didn't lie. Many people had such a feeling in their hearts. Everyone is too polite. Lin Feng clasped his fists. He left with these cultivators, not daring to stay here any longer. From time to time, some stone rooms would appear in the great tomb. Some of the treasures would appear in some of the stone rooms, causing many cultivators to fight over them. These cultivators fought to the death. In order to fight for the treasures, no one would show mercy. It was either you die or I live. Originally, they might have been allies formed together to explore the ancient tomb. But in the blink of an eye, they might become enemies for the sake of treasures. In the world of cultivators, there were too many such things. Lin Feng was already used to it. He entered an extremely large cave abode. Many people had gathered in the cave abode. There were no treasures in this cave, but there were many murals. It was unknown who painted them. Many cultivators suspected that these murals contained some powerful Tao. Thus, many cultivators were comprehending these murals. The contents of the murals were strange. There were murals of the ancient race worshipping the gods. There were murals of cultivators fighting against evil dragons. There were also murals of ancient emperors traveling. Lin Feng frowned slightly. There were so many different murals. What did these murals mean? This made him extremely puzzled. He continued to look down. Suddenly, Lin Feng's eyes narrowed slightly. At the back of the murals, the scene suddenly changed. The content of the murals was no longer a peaceful scene, but a black cloud covering the sky. Countless creatures looked at the black cloud that covered the sky in horror. Their faces were filled with shock and horror. Covering the sky, causing the world to fear. What kind of creature is in these black clouds? Lin Feng frowned slightly. He then looked at a mural at the back. In this mural, the corpses of experts fell from mid-air. Mountains of corpses and seas of blood. No one knew how many people had died. They're all dead. How did they die? Lin Feng frowned. The fall of an expert was like the end of the world. The scene in front of them was too terrifying, causing their hair to stand on end. If the murals were real, what had happened in the past? Lin Feng continued to look at the murals, and the next mural had pitch-black giant claws. No one knew what kind of claw it was, but it descended from the sky and destroyed one world after another. Countless living beings were killed. This was a calamity that would engulf the entire universe. It was unknown how many planets with life had been destroyed. Heavens! What happened? Is this a world-ending battle? Lin Feng felt his scalp go numb. He suddenly thought of some things that happened before the Immortal Ancient Era. From the Primal Chaos Era to the Immortal Ancient Era, there were dazzling great eras one after another. It was unknown just how many powerful experts appeared. Every time an era reached its peak, there would always be a great war. For example, a great war between sentient life forms. In this war, sentient life forms fell one after another. Such a great war would appear from time to time in the years that followed. Was there an invisible hand manipulating all of this? Most importantly, the history from the Primal Chaos Era to the Immortal Ancient Era had been drowned out. This was too strange. It was said that even the ancient factions that existed before the immortal ancient era had no history of this period. All history started from the primal chaos era. It had been 27 trillion years since the primal chaos era. This was naturally a very long period of time. However, such a long period of time was only an extremely short period of time in the long river of history. It started from the primal chaos era until now. This was a meandering, endlessly long river of history. And the history from the primal chaos era to the present, at most, it could only be considered an extremely short river. Compared to the entire winding and endless river, it was not worth mentioning at all. What had happened from the primal chaos era to the immortal ancient era? Why? Had this period of history been erased? No one knew. This was the most terrifying thing. The unknown was the most terrifying thing. And now, Lin Feng saw the apocalypse on the mural. He suddenly thought of this period of time that had passed. Was the apocalypse on the mural related to this period of time that had passed? Lin Feng continued to look. The more he looked, the more shocked he became. The contents of the mural at the back, they were all scenes of the destruction of worlds, the extinction of races, and the suffering of living beings. The myriad worlds were facing destruction. After Pangu created the world, the myriad worlds were formed. And now, the myriad worlds seemed to be completely destroyed. Could it be the creatures of the foreign world? Lin Feng muttered to himself. He suddenly thought of the foreign world, that terrifying world. But when Lin Feng saw the next mural, he knew that he had guessed wrong. This mural was also of a destroyed world. And in this destroyed world, Lin Feng saw the creatures of the foreign world. This world is the foreign world? Lin Feng frowned slightly. The creatures of the foreign world looked at the sky and roared angrily. They seemed to be arguing about something with some living being. Lin Feng continued to look. The mural at the back was of the fall of the foreign world. Countless foreign world creatures fell from the sky. Their corpses were still in midair when they began to burn. Their bodies and souls were destroyed. These foreign world creatures couldn't escape the fate of death. The foreign world creatures are so powerful, but they can't escape death. Lin Feng frowned. However, what puzzled him was that after looking at so many murals, he still didn't know what was leading all of this. As he looked further, Lin Feng discovered something even more shocking. The sacred emperors of the human race, the demon emperors of the demon race, the demon emperors of the demon race, and so on were all forming an army. This was an alliance that had never been formed before. The creatures of the myriad worlds. They joined forces. They formed the most powerful army. They decided they would fight to the death. A great battle is about to erupt. What kind of creature was the one who launched the Doomsday Battle in the past? It should be revealed soon, right? Lin Feng took a deep breath. He felt that he was close to the truth. At this moment, he couldn't help but become nervous. Perhaps at this moment, no one could remain calm, right? Because it was very likely that the reason why the history between the Chaos Era and the Immortal Ancient Era disappeared would be revealed. When Lin Feng looked at the mural at the back, his expression changed drastically. Chapter 1709. The murals behind had all become extremely blurry and could not be seen clearly. It was unknown if it was caused by the corrosion of time or some other reason. How could this be? Lin Feng frowned, and his expression was rather ugly. He was so close to the truth, but in the end, this was the outcome. This made him rather depressed. History has buried the truth. From the primal chaos era to the immortal ancient era, there were countless great eras. It was so long that it could not be calculated with numbers. What exactly happened during that time was not known by future generations. Is this apocalyptic battle really over? Or is it just temporary? Lin Feng muttered to himself. Immediately after, his heart suddenly turned cold. This apocalyptic battle, if it was just temporary, did that mean that it would happen again in the future? If that was the case, it would be too terrifying. One had to know that the present was not like the past. Before the primordial era, that was the cradle of experts. But even during that most dazzling great era, the great era with the most experts, it was still difficult to resist the terrifying creatures that launched the apocalyptic battle. In this era, how could they resist? If another apocalyptic battle really broke out, the myriad worlds in this universe, they would probably be completely destroyed, right? Thinking of this, Lin Feng could not help but feel very scared, but soon he smiled bitterly. What was the use of worrying about such things? The most important thing now was to live in the present. Things in the future. When it really happened, he would face it. If the sky collapsed, naturally, there would be those top forces to hold it up. In this huge cave abode, Lin Feng did not obtain any more useful information. He planned to leave. There were still many cultivators who were still comprehending the contents of the murals, wanting to comprehend some powerful Tao from the murals. Lin Feng did not know if these cultivators would succeed. However, that had nothing to do with him. After leaving the cave abode, he continued to head deeper. More and more cultivators rushed deeper because the treasure vaults in the periphery had been plundered clean by them. Now, they had to go deeper to continue searching for treasures. This great tomb had allowed many people to gain a lot. And now, the great tomb was filled with the smell of blood. In order to fight for the treasures in the great tomb, countless people had died. Another stone chamber has appeared in front. It's densely covered with restrictions. It's extraordinary. A cultivator shouted loudly, attracting the attention of many people. Most of the treasure vaults that appeared before did not have restrictions protecting them. Even with the protection of the restrictions, the power of the restrictions was not very strong. However, it was different this time. The power of the restriction was abnormally strong, attracting the attention of many cultivators. Everyone headed towards the stone chamber. Blood tattoo. Some cultivators frowned. They seemed to have studied the array patterns that sealed the stone room. What are blood traces? A cultivator asked. Not everyone had studied the Grand Array. The cultivator replied, "It said that it's a rune created by the Blood Clan, a rune that has been lost for a long time. Is there a way to break it?" Someone asked. The cultivator who recognized the blood pattern also shook his head. For the time being, he had no idea how to break the blood pattern. This blood mark is so strange. It seems to contain a trace of demonic power. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. He was also observing the blood traces and felt that they were extraordinary. What was the purpose of sealing such a treasure trove with such a powerful blood mark? Could it be that they were trying to seal something important? Of course, Lin Feng did not know exactly what was going on. Elder Chun Shan of the Geomaster lineage is here, a cultivator shouted. This immediately caused a commotion. The Geomaster lineage's research on formations was at a level that no one else could reach. In the 9 provinces, the Geomaster lineage was the representative of authority when it came to formations. Lin Feng frowned slightly. The Heavenly Master lineage and the Geomaster lineage could be said to be like fire and water. The Geomaster lineage had killed many of the Heavenly Master lineage's successors. Many of the Heavenly Master lineage's teachings had also been snatched away by the Geomaster lineage. The hatred between the two sides had accumulated over time. Lin Feng was the only successor of the Heavenly Master lineage. He had always hoped to find the lost teachings of the Heavenly Master lineage. A battle with the Geomaster lineage was inevitable. Of course, that battle was not now. The Geomaster lineage was divided into 9 branches. The Geomaster lineage of the Tianwu continent was one of them. The true Geomaster lineage was in the 9 provinces. The branches of the Tianwu continent naturally could not be compared to the Geomaster lineage of the 9 provinces. Lin Feng's strength was still very weak in front of the Geomaster lineage of the 9 provinces. However, Lin Feng believed that in the near future, he would definitely be able to rule over the Geomaster lineage and trample it under his feet. He would take back all the teachings that they had snatched away from the Heavenly Master lineage. The arrival of the Geomaster lineage's cultivators could be said to be like stars surrounding the moon. There were a total of more than 10 cultivators from the Geomaster lineage. The leader was a thin old man. Lin Feng asked the surrounding cultivators and found out that Elder Chun Shan was the 7th elder of the Geomaster lineage. He had an extremely high status in the Geomaster lineage. "Everyone, it's a pleasure to meet you." Elder Chun Shan cupped his fists, looking very happy. This person was called Su Chun Shan. Others called him Old Man Dust Mountain because they were in awe of him. "Senior, you're too kind." Many people hurriedly returned the greeting. The Geomaster lineage's cultivators arrived in front of the stone door. "Senior, do you have a way to break the blood veins?" someone asked. Su Qinshan said, "These blood veins have been lost for a long time. It's not easy to break them, but I can give it a try." Many people were overjoyed when they heard this. However, Su Qinshan did not immediately make a move. At that moment, a cultivator understood and hurriedly said, "Once the formation is broken, we'll let Senior choose the 3 most precious treasures." Su Qinshan's face immediately revealed a smile. There was no such thing as a free lunch in this world. He had been waiting for these cultivators to express their opinions. These cultivators were quite tactful. Su Qinshan began to study the blood veins. Although the Geomaster lineage's teachings could not be compared to the Heavenly Master lineage, they were still extremely powerful. Moreover, the Geomaster lineage had snatched away many of the Heavenly Master lineage's teachings. Therefore, the higher-ups of the Geomaster lineage not only cultivated the Geomaster lineage's teachings, but they also cultivated a portion of the Heavenly Master lineage's teachings. Their methods were extremely shocking. Su Qinshan was one such example. Therefore, this person's attainments in the field of formations were extremely profound. He began to break the blood veins. Time passed slowly. After about 6 hours, the blood veins sealing the stone door were about to be broken by Su Qinshan. This old man's abilities are really amazing. Lin Feng could not help but raise his eyebrows. Even if he were to break the blood veins, he might not be able to do so in 6 hours. Another half an hour passed. Finally, the blood veins sealing the stone door were completely broken. Everyone around them was ecstatic. "Haha, now, let's open the stone door." Su Qinshan laughed loudly. "Come, everyone, let's push the stone door open together," a cultivator shouted. The dozen cultivators at the front pushed the huge stone door together. Rumble. The stone door made a loud grinding sound as it was gradually pushed open. Chapter 17:10. It's open. Let's go in and see if there are any treasures. Many cultivators shouted excitedly. A large number of cultivators rushed into the stone room. The stone chamber was very large and incomparably spacious. It was pitch black and the visibility was very low. Thankfully, cultivators could still see far ahead even in the middle of the night. So the darkness didn't affect cultivators too much. Crack, crack. Suddenly, the sound of bones cracking could be heard. Everyone looked at the ground and felt their scalps go numb. There were many corpses piled up on the ground. Countless skeletons were piled up here. Who were these skeletons when they were alive? Storage rings. A cultivator shouted excitedly. He saw the storage rings scattered on the ground and reached out to pick them up. But before he could pick them up, he was attacked by other cultivators. There was more than one storage ring on the ground. In order to obtain these storage rings, the thousands of people who entered the stone room immediately began to fight each other. It was difficult to tell who would win. Many people died in this battle. This was a world where the strong preyed on the weak. In order to fight for treasures, such scenes of life and death could be seen everywhere. Lin Feng sent out a wave of magic power and wrapped it around a storage ring. As soon as the storage ring landed on his hand, 3 cultivators pounced on Lin Feng. "Brat, die." The 3 cultivators sneered, their eyes full of killing intent. Among the 3, the strongest was the man who spoke. He was tall and burly with a fierce face. He was an expert at the first layer of the divine fire realm. As for the other 2, one was a skinny cultivator who looked like a ghost that crawled out of hell. The other was of medium build and had triangular eyes. All 3 of them seemed to be evil cultivators, their bodies emitting an evil aura. "You don't know death." Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He raised his right hand and attacked with sky-splitting slash. The sword light pierced through heaven and earth. Puff, puff, puff. With a tearing sound, the 3 cultivators were directly cut in half by Lin Feng's sky-splitting slash. They died on the spot. Seeing that, many of the surrounding cultivators sucked in a breath of cold air, and they hastily moved away from Lin Feng. To be able to kill a divine fire realm expert and 2 nihility god realm experts in one move. It was enough to show how tyrannical Lin Feng was. The rest of the cultivators naturally did not dare to have any ideas about Lin Feng. Many of them were even worried that Lin Feng would kill them and snatch their storage rings. Lin Feng didn't pay attention to the surrounding cultivators. He looked at the storage ring in his hand and tried to invade it with his divine thought. Then, he shook his head. Perhaps it was because it was too long ago, or perhaps it was because of some other unknown reason. The inner space of the storage ring had already collapsed. The things stored inside had also been destroyed. This is a destroyed storage ring. At this time, a cultivator like Lin Feng noticed the strangeness of the storage ring and couldn't help but shout out. Many of the cultivators who were still fighting over the storage rings also stopped. Then, they took out the storage rings that they had collected before and carefully examined them. But soon, everyone discovered that the inner space of the storage rings that they had obtained had also been destroyed. Many people's expressions were extremely ugly. The storage rings that they had risked their lives to obtain had actually been destroyed. It was like drawing water with a bamboo basket. Looking at the densely packed corpses on the ground, Lin Feng couldn't help but shake his head slightly. So many people had died miserably, and the storage rings that they were fighting over were actually destroyed storage rings. Weren't these people's deaths too unworthy? In the depths of the stone room, 9 stone dragon heads appeared. The dragon heads opened their bloody mouths and connected to 9 tunnels. The tunnels were relatively narrow, less than 2 meters in diameter, and were extremely deep. 9 is the ultimate number. There are 9 tunnels here, and I don't know where they lead. What does this mean? Some people were puzzled and felt that it wasn't simple. At this time, waves of astonishing energy fluctuations were transmitted from the 9 tunnels. This caused many people to be shocked. Could it be that there was some kind of treasure in the 9 tunnels? However, no one acted rashly. This place was a little strange. So many people were more cautious. The fluctuations in the 9 tunnels became more and more intense. This made many people's hearts itch unbearably, and they wanted to enter the tunnels to see what was emitting the fluctuations. Why do I feel that something is wrong? The fluctuations seem to be coming from afar and are rushing out. It doesn't seem like a treasure, but more like a living thing. A cultivator said aloud. Just as the cultivator's voice fell, suddenly, in this tunnel, huge spiders that blotted out the sky and covered the earth quickly rushed out. These spiders were the size of wash basins, and they had ghoulish faces. Their bodies emitted a gloomy and evil aura. Not good. It's a group of ghost-faced spiders. After seeing these spiders, Lin Feng's expression suddenly changed. There was a description of these spiders in the classic of mountains and seas. They come from the underworld and devour souls. This meant that the ghost-faced spiders were a type of spider from the underworld. These spiders didn't eat flesh, but souls. In the past, Lin Feng had only seen the introduction of the ghost-faced spiders, but he had never seen a real one. He even thought that this was just a legendary creature. But now, he saw it with his own eyes. Seeing the densely packed ghost-faced spiders, he couldn't help but feel his scalp go numb. Whoosh! Lin Feng quickly rushed outside. He didn't know what kind of terrifying ability these underworld spiders had, and they were swarming out in an overwhelming manner. There was no way to resist. Many cultivators were so scared that their faces turned pale, and they rushed outside. However, the ghost-faced spiders spat out spider silk and entangled many people. Then, it directly jumped up and flew directly in front of the cultivators who were entangled in the spider web. Then, the ghost-faced spiders opened their bloody mouths and bit those cultivators to death. Then, they began to devour the souls of the dead cultivators. Lin Feng and the 4 holy birds were also entangled by the ghost-faced spider's spider web. Scared the hell out of me. Scared the hell out of me. Scared the hell out of me. The 4 holy birds cried out in horror. 5 or 6 ghost-faced spiders pounced on Lin Feng and the 4 holy birds. Lin Feng hurriedly took out his heavenly fire and burned the spider web on his body into ashes. Then, he raised his right hand and slashed out streaks of sword chi, killing all of the ghost-faced spiders. He quickly rushed out of the stone room. More and more ghost-faced spiders poured out of the 9 passageways, and extremely shrill screams came from the stone room. More than 2,000 cultivators rushed out of the stone room, and only a little more than 100 people rushed out of the stone room. These cultivators fled into the distance with Lin Feng. However, the ghost-faced spiders chased after them. They were densely packed and innumerable. It was as if a spider tide had broken out. The endless ghost-faced spiders quickly chased after them. Chapter 17:11. Hurry up and run. Many people shouted in fear. Behind them was a swarm of demonic-faced spiders. No one dared to stay. If the demonic-faced spiders caught up to them, only death would await them. Everyone was very clear on this point. However, the demonic-faced spiders were also extremely fast. Many demonic-faced spiders spat out spider webs. The webs shot out by the demonic-faced spiders quickly wrapped around the fleeing cultivators. The cultivators at the back were entangled by the webs, and their bodies were suddenly pulled towards the dense swarm of demonic-faced spiders. No! Those cultivators let out terrified screams. In the next moment, they were drowned by the demonic-faced spiders. Hearing the miserable screams behind them, many people turned pale with fright. Fortunately, the group managed to escape from the demonic-faced spiders. However, the demonic-faced spiders did not return to the stone room from before. Now that they were free, they quickly rushed outside. Along the way, most of the cultivators who encountered the demonic-faced spiders died tragically. Only a few managed to escape with their lives. The Great Tomb's danger level was far beyond imagination. Many people already had thoughts of retreating. In the end, reason prevailed over the greed in their hearts, and many cultivators chose to leave. Of course, even more cultivators continued to head deeper into the tomb, unwilling to give up on the Great Tomb's opportunities. Lin Feng was even more unwilling to leave. He wanted to find the netherworld flame of hell, and then refine this kind of heavenly flame. As for the hellfire, Lin Feng was determined to obtain it. No matter what dangers there were in the Great Tomb, they would not be able to stop Lin Feng's footsteps. He continued to head deeper into the Great Tomb. There were treasure vaults everywhere in the Great Tomb. As he headed deeper into the tomb, Lin Feng opened 3 of them and obtained a large number of origin crystals. He was somewhat puzzled. Why were there so many treasure vaults built in the Great Tomb? Why didn't they gather all the treasures together? At that moment, the Black Bear Devil King said, "There's something wrong with this Great Tomb. There are too many treasure vaults." Lin Feng asked, "Do you have any special opinions about these treasuries?" The Black Bear Devil King pondered for a moment before saying, "Don't you think that this tomb is like a huge formation, and the treasuries scattered throughout the place are like the formation's core?" Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. Now that he thought about it carefully, he also felt that what the Black Bear Devil Lord said seemed to be very reasonable. Lin Feng said, "I opened 3 vaults, and they were all filled with origin crystals. Could it be that the origin crystals in the vaults are actually used to power the formation?" The Black Bear Devil King said, "We'll know once we take a look at the other treasuries." Lin Feng nodded. Many treasure vaults had appeared in the Great Necropolis. Many treasure vaults were opened. However, Lin Feng did not compete with others for the treasures in the treasury. This was because blood flowed like rivers in every treasury. Lin Feng didn't want to get involved. Now, he began to take a closer look at what was stored in these treasure vaults. He opened 5 more treasure vaults in succession. Lin Feng discovered that each treasure vault was filled with large amounts of origin crystals. Of course, there were other things in some of the vaults as well. For example, there were natural treasures, immortal metals, divine stones, and other treasures. However, Lin Feng's attention wasn't on these things. His attention was on the origin crystals. Even if there were no origin crystals in one of the vaults, it would be enough to refute the Black Bear Devil King's guess. However, every treasure vault had origin crystals. To further verify, Lin Feng opened a dozen more vaults. Every one of them was filled with origin crystals. Origin crystals can provide an endless supply of energy for the formation's operation, and these treasure vaults all contain origin crystals. It seems that your guess is very likely true. The entire tomb is actually equivalent to a formation, Lin Feng said. Black Bear Devil Monarch said, "The treasuries have been opened one after another, and the origin crystals have been taken away. Without the support of energy, the grand formation can no longer function. If this grand formation seals something, and it can no longer function, do you think that the thing sealed by the grand formation will break out of the seal? Lin Feng rubbed his chin. If it's really sealed something, I think it's most likely the Netherworld flame. Why do you say that? The Black Bear Devil King asked. The Netherworld flame has already sensed my 3 heavenly flames. It's extremely greedy and wants to devour them. However, I've already entered the Great Necropolis, and the Netherworld flame hasn't appeared. It's not that it doesn't want to appear, but that it can't. The only explanation is that the Netherworld flame has been sealed, Lin Feng said. The Black Bear Devil King pondered for a moment, then said, That's indeed possible. The Hell Netherworld flame has been sealed for a long time. Its strength must have greatly declined. Now is the best time to kill the Hell Netherworld flame. If we can't kill it now, once it recovers, it will be impossible to kill it. The Black Bear Devil King said. Lin Feng nodded. Now is indeed the best time to kill the Netherworld flame, but it's too strong. It won't be easy to kill it. However, if I use all my methods, it's not impossible. As time passed, the treasure vaults in the Great Necropolis were emptied by the cultivators who entered. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Soon after, the Great Necropolis began to shake violently. The earth quaked and the mountains swayed. Kacha, kacha. The ground began to crack. The cave began to collapse. Hurry up and get out. Many people didn't even understand what was happening. However, when they saw that the Great Necropolis was about to collapse, their faces turned as pale as paper. King Qinshan, you wanted to suppress me even before you died. Now, I'm finally free. Just as countless cultivators were fleeing outside, a cold voice sounded. It came from the depths of the Great Necropolis. There was a huge 8 trigrams diagram in the depths of the Great Necropolis. The 8 trigrams diagram began to crack. Boom! In the next moment, endless black flames surged out from under the 8 trigrams diagram. Within the black flames, there was a mysterious existence. He was shrouded in a black robe. He was like a death god that walked out from hell. Endless flames spread out. The flames instantly enveloped the entire Great Necropolis. This was the Netherworld flame, the 21st ranked heavenly flame. It wasn't an ordinary flame. If it was an ordinary flame, it wouldn't be able to harm the powerful cultivators in the Great Necropolis. However, the Netherworld flame was different. This heavenly flame was too terrifying. No one could resist it. Miserable screams rang out. It was unknown how many cultivators were burned alive by the Netherworld flame. Author's note: Subject number 8 has a 3rd exam. I want to check the exam venue this afternoon and only returned home after 7 in the evening. After eating, Old Mantu immediately began to write. This is the 4th update. There are still 3 updates. Even if I write until 1 in the morning, Old Mantu will finish writing the remaining 3 updates. So, I dare to ask for monthly votes, recommendation votes, and rewards. Chapter 1712. How terrifying! The cultivators who had left earlier or managed to escape in time all turned pale with fright when they saw the tomb engulfed in flames. No one dared to stay around the tomb any longer. All the cultivators quickly fled into the distance, disappearing without a trace in the blink of an eye. For these cultivators, fleeing for their lives was the most important thing right now. They were worried that the terrifying being who had broken the seal in the depths of the tomb would come out to kill them. But in reality, the infernal Netherworld Flame's fire spirit didn't care about the cultivators who had escaped earlier. Its attention was focused on Lin Feng. There were charred corpses everywhere in the tomb. Lin Feng used the Golden Dragon Divine Flame to protect himself from the infernal Netherworld Flame. The infernal Netherworld Flame's fire spirit covered in black robes walked towards Lin Feng step by step. You didn't choose to run away. That's unexpected, said the fire spirit. He looked at Lin Feng coldly. He didn't even try to hide his eyes when he saw Lin Feng. Lin Feng had to die if he wanted to obtain the 3 heavenly flames. Therefore, the infernal Netherworld Flame's fire spirit had already decided to kill Lin Feng. Lin Feng said indifferently, I still want to refine you. Why would I run away? Ha 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 ha. The infernal Netherworld Flame suddenly laughed. Its cold voice sounded, "You're really greedy. You're coveting my fire essence." The infernal netherworld flame is ranked 21st among the heavenly flames. It's extremely powerful. You're at your weakest right now, so I naturally have to take advantage of this rare opportunity to kill you and refine your fire essence. Lin Feng said indifferently, "You're a straightforward person. You don't know how to hide your thoughts. I admire you a little now. However, as the master of the three heavenly flames, you must die today." The infernal netherworld flame sneered and sent a palm strike towards Lin Feng. Boom! A heaven-destroying aura was released from the hell netherworld flame's body. That aura made Lin Feng's hair stand on end. The hell's netherworld flame was indeed terrifying. Even though he had been trapped for so many years, his body was unable to replenish itself, causing his cultivation to plummet. However, the netherworld flame's strength was still maintained at an extremely high level. Facing the attack of the netherworld flame, Lin Feng directly summoned the Nine Demons diagram. This was a battle of life and death. It's either you die or I live. Therefore, Lin Feng would not hold anything back. The Nine Demons picture emitted endless demonic light as it descended from the sky, ruthlessly attacking the infernal netherworld flame's fire spirit. Bang! Accompanied by an earth-shattering sound, the Nine Demons painting and the Hellfire Spirit collided fiercely with each other. The infernal netherworld flame's fire spirit was really powerful. It actually sent Lin Feng's Nine Demons picture flying. Boy, even if you have an emperor weapon, it's useless. Your cultivation is too weak. With such a weak cultivation, you want to fight with me? You're simply overestimating your own strength. The infernal netherworld flame's fire spirit sneered again and again. Its words were full of disdain for Lin Feng. Don't be complacent too early. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He began to crazily burn his lifespan. Burning one's lifespan was naturally an extremely dangerous thing. Once he suffered a backlash, it was very likely that he would go berserk and his realm would regress. It could even cause injuries to his origin and Tao. However, Lin Feng now had the Ice Snow Sacred Lotus on him. Even if it was the most serious Tao injury, he was not afraid. In any case, he could use the Ice Snow Sacred Lotus to heal his injuries. As for going berserk and regressing his realm, Lin Feng was even less afraid. He had the nine-colored illusory stone on him. This treasure could help cultivators resist their inner demons. Therefore, with this treasure, Lin Feng would definitely not go berserk, and his realm would regress. There was no need to worry if his realm really regressed because Lin Feng had not broken through to the Divine Fire realm yet. Even if his realm regressed, it would only be a small realm regression. At most, it would only be 2 or 3 levels. As long as it was not a major realm regression, Lin Feng could use the immortal divine body to heal the damage to his body. Lin Feng was confident that he would be able to recover his cultivation level by 2 or 3 small levels. It was because of this confidence that Lin Feng dared to burn his lifespan so unscrupulously. As long as he could kill the infernal netherworld flame's fire spirit, he would obtain the infernal netherworld flame's fire origin. Any losses would be worth it. Once he broke through to the divine fire realm, the lost lifespan and other things could be quickly recovered. This time, Lin Feng directly burned 1,000,000 years of his lifespan. With the support of 1,000,000 years of lifespan, the power of the Nine Demons painting increased greatly. Saint of Nine Spirits, Saint of Nine Spirits. A low voice came from the Nine Demons painting. This was the voice of the Nine Demons painting's artifact spirit. After Lin Feng burned 1,000,000 years of his lifespan, the artifact spirit of the Nine Demons painting seemed to be about to recover. The power of the Nine Demons painting also crazily increased. Bang, bang, bang. Under Lin Feng's control, the Nine Demons painting attacked the infernal netherworld flame's fire spirit one after another. In a desperate state, Lin Feng combined with the Nine Demons painting. His battle strength reached its peak. The infernal netherworld flame's fire spirit was suppressed, and it roared with incomparable anger. The dignified infernal netherworld flame's fire spirit, was actually suppressed by an ant like you. What a great humiliation. Brat, today I'll let you know how powerful I am. The infernal netherworld flame's hands continuously changed seals, and hundreds of millions of seals were cast. All of a sudden, an ancient world was formed. It was a dark world. That world seemed to be a world of death. An endless aura of death spread out from that world. Netherworld Devil Kingdom. Seal. Suddenly, the infernal netherworld flames fire spirit shouted, and a shocking scene appeared. That mysterious pitch-black world descended from the sky and directly swallowed Lin Feng's 9 Demons painting. Seeing this scene, Lin Feng's expression suddenly changed. He wanted to control the 9 Demons painting to fly out of that world. However, after trying a few times, he failed. That world was very strange, and it temporarily imprisoned the 9 Demons painting inside. After losing the 9 Demons painting, this Emperor weapon, what else do you have to fight me with? The infernal netherworld flames fire spirit looked at Lin Feng with a sinister smile. His body flashed, and in the next moment, he appeared in front of Lin Feng. Then, Luan moved his right fist. He charged towards Lin Feng. Devil Emperor's 9 slashes. Lin Feng made his move, meeting the infernal netherworld flames fire spirit's punch. Bang! Along with the dull sound of collision, there was a loud sound. Lin Feng and the infernal netherworld flames fire spirit collided. Immediately after, Lin Feng felt a mountain toppling and sea overturning force enter his body. Then, he was sent flying. The bones of his entire right arm were broken by the infernal netherworld flames fire spirit's punch. Chapter 17:13. The infernal netherworld flames fire spirit was too strong. So Lin Feng wasn't surprised that it was injured by the infernal netherworld flames fire spirit. Instead, he had a calm expression. The more dangerous the battle was, the calmer Lin Feng became. Perhaps this was a habit that he had developed over the years. He activated his immortal divine body and instantly repaired his broken arm. Immortal divine body. You're from that family. The infernal netherworld flames fire spirit shouted in shock. That family? Do you know which family I'm from? Lin Feng asked. Lin Feng only knew that the ancestors of the Lin family were extraordinary, but as time passed, their bloodline gradually became mediocre. Their family seemed to be just a side branch, and there was still a main branch. However, Lin Feng knew nothing about the main branch. It was obvious that the infernal netherworld flame knew a little about it. Kikik, go ask the king of hell. The infernal netherworld flames fire spirit laughed sinisterly. Then, it soared into the sky and charged at Lin Feng. Burning heaven's wrath, shouted Lin Feng furiously. He condensed the 3 types of celestial fire together and condensed it into a fireball. That ball of flame emitted a shocking wave of energy. Even the void began to distort. He instantly took out the fireball. Bang! Then, the fireball exploded in front of the infernal netherworld flames fire spirit. The destructive energy instantly sent the infernal netherworld flames fire spirit flying. Although the infernal netherworld flames fire spirit was strong, it was still hit by the burning heaven's wrath without any defense. It also suffered heavy injuries. Lin Feng could clearly feel that the infernal netherworld flames fire spirit's aura was much more chaotic than before. It was also much weaker. How is this possible? How is this possible? I was actually injured by an ant? The infernal netherworld flames fire spirit roared in disbelief. It couldn't believe what had just happened. It couldn't accept what had just happened. In the infernal netherworld flames fire spirit's eyes, Lin Feng was only relying on an emperor weapon to fight against it. Now, the emperor weapon was trapped. Wouldn't killing Lin Feng be as easy as flipping his hand? But what was the truth? He had been injured by Lin Feng. The infernal netherworld flame spirit was arrogant. He could not forgive himself for being injured by Lin Feng. Therefore, infernal netherworld fire spirit. He had gone completely berserk. He roared and charged towards Lin Feng. The infernal netherworld flame spirit's speed was just too fast. Just like shrinking the ground into an inch, he didn't give Lin Feng the chance to condense another divine ability. He arrived in front of Lin Feng and threw a punch at Lin Feng. Bang! The punch landed on Lin Feng's chest. Crack! Crack! His sternum shattered. Lin Feng was sent flying. Before Lin Feng could stabilize his body, the infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit had already closed in on him. Then, it threw another punch at Lin Feng. Lin Feng raised his left hand to block. Crack, crack. His arm suffered the blow, and his bones broke. Then, the infernal netherworld fire's right leg fiercely kicked Lin Feng's waist. Lin Feng was sent flying. Crack, crack. His spine had been broken. I won't let you die so easily. I will torture you and let you taste all kinds of pain before I kill you. Only in this way can I vent the hatred in my heart. The infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit said sinisterly. He once again rushed towards Lin Feng. Another palm struck towards Lin Feng. Swish. Lin Feng used the heaven patching technique and dodged the terrifying attack of the infernal netherworld fire. The infernal netherworld fire's attack landed in the air, and Lin Feng was 100 meters away. The immortal divine body operated. His injuries were healed once again. This was the ability of Lin Feng's bloodline. It could be said to be heaven-defying. If it was someone else, they would have already lost the ability to resist after suffering such a serious injury. Heaven patching technique. The infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit looked indifferently at Lin Feng. You know quite a few divine abilities, but after using the heaven patching technique once, you can't use it a second time within 3 days. This time, you relied on the heaven patching technique to avoid disaster, but what about next time? Boom! A terrifying aura spread from the infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit, and he once again charged towards Lin Feng. At this time, Lin Feng circulated his sovereign bloodline. Sovereign! Judgment! Lin Feng coldly shouted. Boundless light of judgment surged out and shot towards the infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit. Oomph! The infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit's expression was indifferent. The infernal netherworld fire burned fiercely inside his body. Lin Feng's light of judgment was unleashed. It was actually ignited by the infernal netherworld fire. Soon, the infernal netherworld fire burned away the light of judgment. Seeing this, Lin Feng couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. He had tried using the Golden Dragon Divine Flame before. Lin Feng discovered that the Golden Dragon Divine Flame couldn't burn the light of judgment. However, the infernal netherworld fire could. As expected of the infernal netherworld fire that was ranked 21st. Any divine ability of yours won't be able to withstand a single blow from me. An ant trying to stir up trouble in front of a dragon? That's impossible. You're right in front of me. Only death awaits you. The infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit had a cold expression and a sinister smile on his face as he walked towards Lin Feng. It's time to end this. I don't have the time to play with you anymore. The infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit said coldly. His aura began to rise. Not long after, the infernal netherworld fire's aura had doubled. This caused Lin Feng to turn pale with fright. The infernal netherworld fire had been difficult to deal with before. How terrifying would the infernal netherworld fire be now that its strength had doubled? Lin Feng hurriedly activated the Great Samsara. That is the eternal path of reincarnation. Now that someone dares to blaspheme the great path of reincarnation, please reveal the wheel of reincarnation and punish those lowly creatures who dare to disrespect the path of reincarnation. Lin Feng stepped forward and used an ancient language to summon the wheel of reincarnation. Rumble. Above the 9 heavens, a loud sound shook the heavens. The terrifying power of reincarnation swept down. The great tomb instantly exploded. The phantom of the wheel of reincarnation appeared. Then, the phantom of the wheel of reincarnation began to spin. A terrifying force bombarded the infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit. Thump, thump, thump. The infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit was forced back. This is the phantom of the wheel of reincarnation. What you used is the great samsara. Good, good, good. I didn't expect that a lowly ant like you would know so many powerful divine abilities. Later, I will swallow your soul and refine your memories. All the spells you've cultivated will become mine. The infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit laughed sinisterly as he walked towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng controlled the phantom of the wheel of reincarnation to attack the infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit. Break for me! The infernal netherworld fire's fire spirit roared. Punch after punch, he punched the phantom of the wheel of reincarnation that was descending from the sky. Lin Feng crazily activated the great samsara, controlling the phantom of the Wheel of Reincarnation to smash the infernal Netherworld Fire's fire spirit again and again. However, the infernal Netherworld Fire's fire spirit, whose strength had doubled, was too powerful. He punched out 36 times in a row. The phantom of the Wheel of Reincarnation actually began to crack. Not good. Seeing this scene, Lin Feng's expression changed greatly. The phantom of the Wheel of Reincarnation was probably going to be broken by the infernal Netherworld Fire's fire spirit very soon. Lin Feng's expression was unsettled. The infernal Netherworld Fire's fire spirit was too powerful. It was simply impossible to kill. Now, he planned to retreat. If he didn't leave now, he would probably die in the hands of the infernal Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. Just as Lin Feng was about to leave, suddenly, a violent fluctuation came out from the Dansi. Chapter 17:14. Lin Feng's spiritual will entered the sea of pills, and a look of shock appeared on his face. The thing that was causing such a commotion was actually the Reincarnation Devil Hall. The Reincarnation Devil Hall was extremely mysterious. It was originally Gongzi Yu's treasure, but was taken away by Mo Wuji. The secrets of the Reincarnation Devil Hall could only be explored after reaching the Heavenly God or Giant God realm. Therefore, Lin Feng had never been able to control the Reincarnation Devil Hall. But now, the Reincarnation Devil Hall was actually emitting waves of energy. Could it be because he had just executed the great art of reincarnation? Could it be that the Reincarnation Devil Hall sensed the great art of reincarnation? Other than this explanation, Lin Feng really couldn't think of any other. He hurriedly communicated with the Reincarnation Devil Hall. After that, he tried to control the Reincarnation Devil Hall. What surprised Lin Feng was that he could actually control the Reincarnation Devil Hall. Loud rumbling sounds could be heard. The Reincarnation Devil Hall was summoned out by him. Of course, Lin Feng also knew that his control over the Reincarnation Devil Hall was only temporary. He probably wouldn't be able to control it for long. Therefore, he had to grab the opportunity to control the Reincarnation Devil Hall and kill the fire spirit of the Hell Netherworld Flame. After the Reincarnation Devil Hall was summoned out by Lin Feng, it emitted boundless devil light. That was the Reincarnation Devil Light, which contained the powerful power of reincarnation. Streams of reincarnation devil light swept towards the fire spirit of the Hell Netherworld Flame. Bang! A loud sound shook the heavens. After the reincarnation devil light swept across the fire spirit of the Hell Netherworld Flame, it was as though it had collided with a mountain. It actually wasn't able to send the fire spirit of the Hell Netherworld Flame flying. The fire spirit of the Hell Netherworld Flame, whose strength had doubled, was simply too strong. However, this attack still interrupted the fire spirit of the Hell Netherworld Flame's attack on the reincarnation plate. Originally, the reincarnation plate was about to be destroyed by the fire spirit of the Hell Netherworld Flame. But now, it had luckily escaped this calamity. Reincarnation, lift up the heavens. Suddenly, a mysterious voice rang out from the Reincarnation Devil Hall. That voice seemed to have come from the primal chaos era, crossing the endless river of time. Lin Feng was shocked. What was going on with this voice? Was this the voice of an ancient expert from the Samsara Devil Hall? Or was it the voice of the Reincarnation Devil Hall's spirit? Demon Lord, what do you think? Lin Feng transmitted to the Black Bear Devil Monarch. The Samsara Devil Hall is filled with demonic energy. However, from the looks of it, the Samsara Devil Hall can only help you. It won't harm you. The Black Bear Devil Lord said. The Black Bear Devil Monarch had always been secretive about the Samsara Devil Hall. He once told Lin Feng that the Samsara Devil Hall had many secrets. Once these secrets were revealed, they would surely shock the world. Lin Feng asked the Black Bear Devil Lord what the secret was, but the Black Bear Devil Lord didn't know either. This was what he had heard from Demon Emperor Chonglu. However, back then, Demon Emperor Chonglu had only mentioned it casually and did not go into detail. But there was one thing that the Black Bear Devil Monarch knew. That is, the few generations of masters of the Samsara Devil Hall all had extremely miserable endings. Their deaths were more tragic than the last. Their deaths were directly related to the secrets of the Samsara Devil Hall. Hence, The Black Bear Devil Monarch had once reminded Lin Feng to pay special attention to the changes in the Samsara Devil Hall. This hall was too bizarre and too terrifying. Naturally, at the current stage, the Samsara Devil Hall had yet to show any signs of being disadvantageous to Lin Feng. But today, the Samsara Devil Hall was actually of great help to Lin Feng. This hall is actually the Samsara Devil Hall. The Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit exclaimed. This fellow was very knowledgeable and could recognize the Samsara Devil Hall with a single glance. Good brat. You actually have so many secrets. The Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit looked at Lin Feng with a gloomy expression. He continued to activate the Netherworld Devil Kingdom. He wanted to trap the Samsara Devil Hall, like how he trapped the 9 devil diagrams. The Netherworld Devil Kingdom rushed towards the Samsara Devil Hall, emitting a powerful devouring force. It wanted to devour the Samsara Devil Hall. At this moment, Lin Feng coldly laughed as he took out his God Realm clone. The God Realm clone wielded the Great Desolate War Spear and charged towards the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. Courting death, the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit had an indifferent expression as he sent a palm strike towards the God Realm clone. At this moment, Lin Feng controlled the plate of reincarnation to attack the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. Then, he controlled the 9 devil diagrams to attack the Netherworld Devil Kingdom from the inside. At the same time, he controlled the Samsara Devil Hall to release balls of Samsara Devil Light that swept towards the Netherworld Devil Kingdom. This was Lin Feng's ability to do 3 things at once. He could control 3 types of attacks at the same time. The Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit's ability was not to be underestimated. He could control the Netherworld Devil Kingdom while attacking the God Realm clone at the same time. This was the ability to do 2 things at once. Lin Feng did not know what kind of heavenly treasure he had refined to be able to do 2 things at once. Or was it because the Hell Netherworld Fire had given the fire spirit this ability? But no matter what, the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit had the ability to do 2 things at once. There was one thing that Lin Feng was clear about. The Hell Netherworld Fire's ability to do 2 things at once could not be compared to his ability to do 3 things at once. The Godly Realm Avatar and the Reincarnation Plate Phantom attacked the fire spirit of the Hell Netherworld Fire together, and then stalled the fire spirit of the Hell Netherworld Fire. The 9 devil diagrams and Samsara Devil Hall attacked the Netherworld Devil Kingdom at the same time. Under the joint attack of the 9 devil diagrams and Samsara Devil Hall, the Netherworld Devil Kingdom formed by the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit could not hold on any longer. Crack, crack. The Netherworld Devil Kingdom. It began to crack. Not good. Seeing this scene, the Hell Netherworld Fire's expression changed. He wanted to increase the power of the Netherworld Devil Kingdom, but it was too late. Under the joint attack of the 9 devil diagrams and Samsara Devil Hall, the Netherworld Devil Kingdom collapsed. Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. Your time of death has come. Lin Feng sneered. At the same time, he controlled the 9 devil diagrams, Samsara Devil Hall, and Plate of Reincarnation to attack the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. The God Realm clone also held the Great Desolate War Spear and attacked the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. At the same time, the Black Bear Devil Monarch also controlled the Chonglu Devil Hall to fly out. Together with Lin Feng, they attacked the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. Seeing the appearance of another powerful Devil Hall, the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit knew that the situation was hopeless. It no longer had the courage to fight and wanted to escape. You can't escape. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He used all his strength to control the 9 devil diagrams, Samsara Devil Hall, and Plate of Reincarnation to attack the Hell Netherworld Fire. The Black Bear Devil Monarch crazily controlled the Chonglu Devil Hall to attack the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. The God Realm clone held the Great Desolate War Spear and attacked the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. The 4 sacred birds that Lin Feng sent into the mountain river ring also flew out. At the same time, Bibi and the Dragon Rabbit also flew out. They all made their moves and used their strongest attacks to help Lin Feng deal with the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. The 4 sacred birds used a powerful divine ability. This divine ability was called the Great Desolate Heaven Splitting Claw. It condensed a giant claw and grabbed at the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. BB released a rainbow-colored immortal light that swept towards the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. As for the dragon rabbit, it released a destructive force that attacked the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit. Why is it like this? The dignified Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit, actually fell in the hands of an ant like this. I'm not willing. After a stalemate of more than 2 hours, the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit let out an unwilling roar. It finally couldn't hold on any longer. The 9 devil diagrams pierced through the heavenly fire's origin and ruthlessly attacked the fire spirit's soul origin. The Hell Netherworld Fire's fire spirit's soul origin directly exploded. Its body and soul were destroyed on the spot. Only the Hell Netherworld Fire's fire origin was left floating in the air. The black fire origin slightly pulsed, and the surrounding space distorted. Chapter 17:15. After a fierce battle of life and death, he used all his means, and with everyone's help, he finally killed the fire spirit of the Netherworld Fire. Lin Feng could finally heave a sigh of relief. 9 Demon Painting. Reincarnation Demon Palace. Chonglu Demon Palace. They flew back to Lin Feng's Elixir Sea one after another. Then, BB and Dragon Rabbit were also sent into Lin Feng's Mountain River Ring. He only left the 4 sacred birds and the Deity Realm clone to guard him. Lin Feng opened his hand, and powerful magic power flowed into the Netherworld Fire. He refined the Hell's Netherworld Flame while adjusting his condition. After all, the battle of life and death had consumed a lot of energy. Breaking through was a big deal. He couldn't be careless in the slightest. When breaking through, he had to raise his state to the extreme. Only in this way could he break through in one go without any accidents. After adjusting his state to the best, Lin Feng began to try to use the Netherworld Fire to ignite his divine fire. The divine fire was equivalent to the fire of life. Once a god ignited the divine fire, his life would undergo a huge transformation. His lifespan, cultivation, talent, luck, and so on would all be greatly improved. Therefore, igniting the divine fire was an extremely important transformation for a deity realm cultivator. Lin Feng went into seclusion for half a month. Finally, he succeeded in igniting the divine fire. The moment he ignited the divine fire, Lin Feng felt that his lifespan, magic power, luck, and so on were all increasing crazily. At the same time, above the 9 heavens, thunder rumbled. The sea of thunder condensed and covered an area of 100 miles. Look, what a huge sea of thunder. Could it be that someone is going to undergo a tribulation? Oh my God, what kind of tribulation is this? It condensed into such a huge sea of thunder? Many people in the surroundings shouted in shock. Ordinary cultivators' tribulation would cover an area of a few miles or only a dozen miles. A lightning tribulation that covered an area of 100 miles was extremely rare. But what made them turn pale with fright was, the sea of thunder in the sky was still expanding. It didn't take long for the area to expand by 150 miles, then 200 miles, 300 li, 500 li, 1,000 li, 2,000 li, 3,000 li, 4,000 li, 5,000 li. In the end, it expanded to 6,000 miles. A lightning tribulation covering an area of 6,000 miles. Is someone trying to break through to the Great Emperor realm? Many people looked at the thunder tribulation in the sky in horror. Hurry up and leave this place. Once the lightning tribulation descends, we'll still be within its range. Our lightning tribulation can also be drawn down in advance. When that time comes, I'm afraid we'll die. Many cultivators cried out in horror as they quickly fled into the distance. Lin Feng, on the other hand, sent the 4 sacred birds and the avatar into the mountain river ring. Now that the thunder calamity had descended, they could not continue to stay outside. Whoosh! Then, Lin Feng soared into the sky and arrived above the 9 heavens. Boom, boom, boom. Bolts of tribulation lightning struck down. The void collapsed. The sky was destroyed. When Lin Feng broke through to the godly realm, the lightning tribulation he underwent was the legendary minor creation tribulation. At that time, the lightning tribulation covered an area of 3,000 miles. A total of 326 bolts of tribulation lightning descended. This was a tribulation that only heavenly gods would undergo. This time, when Lin Feng broke through to the divine fire realm, the number of tribulations he would undergo would definitely far exceed the minor creation tribulation. The more heaven-defying the cultivator, the more he would undergo the tribulation, the more terrifying the lightning tribulation he drew down. Heaven and earth would not allow such a cultivator to exist. Break. In the face of the terrifying lightning tribulation, Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He stepped into the 9 heavens. Punch after punch, he swept toward the lightning tribulation that came crashing down. Bam, bam, bam. The bolts of tribulation lightning were all shattered by Lin Feng. The shattered lightning tribulation maxim were all devoured by Lin Feng's body. These shattered lightning tribulation maxim began to improve Lin Feng's body and temper Lin Feng's dermic powers. Under the tempering of the shattered lightning tribulation maxim, Lin Feng's body and dermic powers were greatly improved. Others viewed the lightning tribulation as a ferocious beast, but Lin Feng treated it as an important method to temper his body, dermic powers, and raise his cultivation level. Soon, an even more powerful lightning tribulation descended. However, no matter how powerful the lightning tribulation was, it could not hurt Lin Feng. All the lightning tribulations were shattered by Lin Feng. Soon, 300 bolts of lightning tribulation struck down, but they could not hurt Lin Feng. It started with the 301 bolts of lightning tribulation. The power of the lightning tribulation increased suddenly. The power of the 301 bolts of lightning tribulation was nearly 100 times stronger than the 300th bolts of lightning tribulation. Great calamity art. Lin Feng stepped into the void. A long river of calamity condensed and circled in the void, letting out a loud rumbling sound. This great calamity art was a supreme ability to resist the lightning tribulation. As soon as the great calamity art was used, the lightning tribulation was once again broken by Lin Feng. Time passed. A total of 600 bolts of lightning tribulation descended. However, it still could not hurt Lin Feng. In the confrontation with the lightning tribulation, Lin Feng constantly devoured the shattered lightning tribulation maxim to temper his body and dermic powers. His body emitted a treasure light. Originally, Lin Feng's body had already reached the heavenly god level. This time, the lightning tribulation tempered his body. Lin Feng's body became more and more tyrannical. Lin Feng believed that perhaps it would not be long before he could break through to the giant god level. Now, ordinary divine weapons could not cause any harm to Lin Feng's body. The current Lin Feng had no problem fighting a giant dragon with his body. The most powerful 32 bolts of lightning tribulation began to descend. This was the Great Creation Tribulation. There were a total of 632 bolts of lightning tribulation. However, the most powerful of these lightning tribulations also found it difficult to hurt Lin Feng. Bolts of lightning tribulation were broken by Lin Feng. Roar! Roars shook the sky. For powerful fierce beasts appeared, pouncing towards Lin Feng. This was the last lightning tribulation of the Great Creation Tribulation, called Beast Tribulation. The 4 powerful creatures that appeared were the 4 Overlord-level terrifying creatures in the Heavenly Star Mountain range. Previously, when the 4 sacred birds mentioned them, they were also secretive. These 4 powerful creatures lurked in the surroundings, deceiving the heavens and the sea, avoiding the detection of the lightning tribulation. Therefore, their lightning tribulation was not attracted in advance. Then, when Lin Feng's lightning tribulation was about to end, they suddenly appeared, wanting to kill Lin Feng. At this time, the heavenly Tao sensed something. The 4 fierce beasts became the last lightning tribulation. This was also the most powerful lightning tribulation. The 4 fierce beasts wanted to devour Lin Feng's flesh and blood, wanting to obtain Lin Feng's treasures. Breaking through to the divine fire realm can actually attract such a terrifying lightning tribulation. It's really unbelievable. Your bloodline is too powerful, your talent is too heaven-defying, and your luck is monstrous. As long as we can eat you, we can borrow the power of your bloodline to undergo a transformation. Your luck will also be added to our bodies. Your wealth, magic treasures, and all the other treasures will be ours. The four Overlord-level fierce beasts roared and split into four directions, charging towards Lin Feng. Chapter 17:16. For ferocious beasts. Each one was more ferocious than the other. Each one was more powerful than the other. To be able to become an overlord in the lost world, their cultivation was naturally terrifying. However, facing the attacks of the four ferocious beasts, Lin Feng was not afraid at all. With a wave of his hand, the regal sword tomb flew out. Slash! Lin Feng shouted in a low voice. Spring and Autumn Sword, Undying Sword, Chaos Sword, Black Dragon Sword. For treasured swords flew out, tearing apart the sky, shattering the universe, and collapsing heaven and earth. Their power was shocking and moving. The origins of the four treasured swords were extremely great. For example, the Black Dragon Sword was a divine weapon of the giant god level. Although it had been sealed, the seal was gradually being broken by Lin Feng. The Spring and Autumn Sword was also a divine weapon of the giant god level. The Undying Sword was a broken emperor-level weapon. Although its power had been greatly reduced, it was still an emperor-level weapon. Even though only half of it was left, it was still extremely terrifying. The Chaos Sword was a quasi-emperor-level weapon. It was a treasure forged from chaos stones and had the potential to transform into an immortal artifact. The four treasured swords were controlled by the regal sword tomb. Their power could be increased by 10 times. Now, Lin Feng was controlling the four treasured swords to attack the four ferocious beasts. Instantly, sword chi swept out, tearing apart the sky and shattering heaven and earth. Endless sword chi drowned the four ferocious beasts. The four ferocious beasts that were originally pouncing towards Lin Feng saw how powerful the four treasured swords were. Their expressions changed drastically. They hurriedly took out their Dharma treasures to fight against Lin Feng's four treasured swords. Clang, clang, clang. The Dharma treasures of both sides collided. A series of clanging sounds could be heard. The four ferocious beasts had also collected some powerful Dharma treasures over the years. For example, the four Dharma treasures that they had taken out now were a bronze bell-like Dharma treasure, a jade battle-like Dharma treasure, and a green stone seal. The fourth Dharma treasure was a small golden bell. They were all very powerful. Ha ha ha, kid. Let's see how you'll die. The four ferocious beasts laughed proudly and then charged towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng looked at the Dharma treasures in shock. He didn't expect the four great ferocious beasts to be able to use magic treasures. Generally speaking, these ferocious beasts were extremely conceited. This was because beast cultivators had a physical advantage over other cultivators. Therefore, beast cultivators scoffed at magic treasures. From their point of view, magic treasures would only weaken the further tempering of their bodies. Therefore, beast cultivators lacked interest in magic treasures. It was also very rare for beast cultivators to use their magic treasures in battle. In fact, things like magic treasures had both advantages and disadvantages. Not only beast cultivators, but many cultivators of other races could kill cultivators who were much stronger than them because they obtained a powerful magic treasure. Therefore, he was no longer as desperate and hardworking as before. In the end, most of these cultivators would perish. His own strength was the most important thing. Magic treasures were only supplementary. Most of the time, the willpower of beast cultivators was much stronger than that of cultivators of other races. However, the four beast cultivators in front of him were clearly different. They did not reject the use of magic treasures. Furthermore, he seemed to be quite proficient in the use of magical treasures. Seeing the four great ferocious beasts pouncing over again, Lin Feng's expression was incomparably cold. He could vaguely feel the four great ferocious beasts' realm. They were around the fifth heaven of the true God realm. If it was in the past, facing fifth heaven of the true God realm cultivators, Lin Feng would definitely be defeated. But now, Lin Feng was no longer the same as before. He had refined the fourth heavenly flame and even ignited the divine flame. His cultivation had improved by many times compared to before. In front of Lin Feng, the four great ferocious beasts were no longer existences that could not be resisted. In the future, if I build a cave mansion, I will need to protect my sect. If I want to open a mountain gate, I'm still missing some guardian spirit beasts. I think you guys are a good choice. Today, I won't fool you. Instead, I'll make you surrender so that you can protect my cave and the mountain gate." Lin Feng coldly glanced at the four great ferocious beasts, as if he had already grasped their fate. This made the four great ferocious beasts extremely angry. "Brat, you're about to die, and you still dare to be so arrogant. Let's see how we'll kill you." The four great ferocious beasts roared angrily. They once again charged towards Lin Feng. One by one, they began to condense the demonic qi in their bodies. 10,000 Beasts Claw, Mountain Splitting Seal, Big Dipper Lion Roar Technique, Hand of Heaven. These four great ferocious beasts had also cultivated powerful sacred arts, and when they were unleashed, they attacked Lin Feng. When these powerful sacred arts gathered together, it was as if they could destroy the heavens and the earth. Lin Feng sneered and said, "Today, I'll let you guys experience my absolute art, Burning Heaven's Fury." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng summoned the four great heavenly flames. Hell's Nether Fire, Golden Dragon Divine Flames, Black Flame Burning God Fire, Purple Flame Core Fire. Under Lin Feng's compression, the four great heavenly flames formed a ball of flame. Now, the Burning Heaven's Fury had merged with the Hell's Nether Fire, a powerful heavenly flame that was ranked 21st. It had already completed a huge transformation. Power. Naturally, it couldn't be compared. This was also the first time that Lin Feng had used the Burning Heaven's Fury, which had fused four heavenly flames. So, how powerful was this attack? Lin Feng didn't know either, but he could imagine. This attack, it would definitely be able to cause a destructive power that could destroy the heavens and the earth. The ball of flame formed by the compression of the four heavenly flames distorted the void. It emitted a terrifying and shocking wave. Lin Feng summoned the ball of flame. Bang! Next, a loud sound shook the sky. The ball of flame directly exploded. Waves of destructive power. It spread out. Not good, quickly retreat. Feeling the power of the explosion of the ball of flame, the expressions of the four great ferocious beasts changed drastically. They wanted to retreat quickly at the first moment, but it was too late. The energy fluctuations from the explosion of the ball of flame enveloped the four great ferocious beasts. The four great ferocious beasts were all blown away. Each of them was dripping with blood and severely injured. Lin Feng immediately activated the 5 devouring martial spirits. The 5 devouring martial spirits instantly merged into one. Confinement. Then, he used the confinement magnetic field. Under the confinement of the confinement magnetic field, the four great ferocious beasts' bodies were unable to move. Lin Feng stepped forward and activated the Great Purification Technique. Bang, 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 bang. 4 consecutive palm strikes landed on the heads of the four great ferocious beasts. The power of Great Purification surged into the minds of the four great ferocious beasts. The four great ferocious beasts were instantly purified by Lin Feng. Ba. Good, good. Thank you, Taoist Lin, for guiding us through the sea of bitterness and to the other side. The four great ferocious beasts looked sincere. Ha 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 ha, the four of you are too polite. In the future, follow me and concentrate on cultivating. You will definitely achieve great Tao. Lin Feng laughed. After purifying the four great ferocious beasts of the 5th sky of the true God realm, he was in a good mood. Lin Feng waved his hand, and the four great ferocious beasts were sent into his mountain river ring. The sea of lightning in the sky quickly dissipated, and the world returned to normal. Lin Feng's face was full of joy. He had finally broken through to the divine fire realm. After breaking through to the divine fire realm, even the 6th or 7th sky of the true God realm won't be my match, right? Lin Feng smiled. This wasn't a place to stay for long. There would definitely be many people coming over to see who had broken through, so Lin Feng didn't stay. He quickly flew into the distance and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Chapter 17:17. The 10,000 Weapons Mountain was bustling with people. This was because there were many weapons sealed within this huge mountain range. At the very least, they were all divine artifact level weapons. It was said that even Emperor weapons were sealed here. Of course, it was not an easy task to break the restrictions of the 10,000 Weapons Mountain. The restrictions of the 10,000 Weapons Mountain were extremely powerful. Many cultivators were killed while trying to break the restrictions of the 10,000 Weapons Mountain. Their bodies and souls were destroyed. Their deaths could be said to be extremely miserable. However, once one could break the restrictions of the 10,000 Weapons Mountain, they would be able to obtain the magic treasures sealed inside. Therefore, even though they knew that the 10,000 Weapons Mountain was dangerous, countless cultivators still rushed over. The 4 sacred birds flew in the air, and the 10,000 Weapons Mountain came into view. Master, the 10,000 Weapons Mountain is right in front of us. There are many treasures there. There are many powerful magic treasures sealed there. The 4 sacred birds cried out. Lin Feng nodded and said, "Find a place to descend?" "Yes, Master." The 4 sacred birds responded and quickly flew into the 10,000 Weapons Mountain, then landed in a forest. Following that, the 4 sacred birds turned into a spirit bird the size of an eagle and stood on Lin Feng's shoulder. There were countless magic treasures sealed within the 10,000 Weapons Mountain. Lin Feng was naturally very interested in these magic treasures, although he did not fancy ordinary divine artifacts. However, in the future, when he formed his own force, these divine artifacts would be of great use. Using divine artifacts to form a cultivator army. Then this cultivator army would definitely be invincible. One had to know. Due to the scarcity of materials, many divine realm cultivators did not have divine artifacts. Divine artifacts were precious. This was also the reason why the 10,000 Weapons Mountain attracted so many cultivators. The 10,000 Weapons Mountain was not a mountain peak. It was a mountain range. It was formed by 9 mountain peaks. The mountains were continuous. It stretched out for 70 to 80 miles. It was extremely huge. Other than having many magic treasures in the 10,000 Weapons Mountain, it was also a place where fierce beasts ran rampant. Therefore, this place was extremely dangerous. Of course, for an expert like Lin Feng, the 10,000 Weapons Mountain was not enough to pose a threat to him. Unless it was a cultivator above the 8th or 9th level of the True God stage, could pose a threat to Lin Feng. Roar. The roar was heard. In the distant valley, a great battle broke out. Lin Feng rushed in the direction of the battle and saw a huge, snow-white tiger fighting tens of cultivators. That huge snow-white tiger was not a white tiger. It was the dragon-tailed tiger. The body of a tiger and the tail of a flood dragon. Most dragon-tailed tigers had green bodies. However, the dragon-tailed tiger in front of him had a white body. It was likely that its bloodline had mutated. Mutations were relatively common among dire beasts. After mutating, the color of the body of a ferocious beast would often be different from its original color, and its body shape would also change. However, the biggest change was in his strength. Mutated berserk beasts would have their strength greatly increased. This valley should be the nest of the variant dragon-tailed tiger, because Lin Feng saw a cave in the depths of the valley. There were many skeletons scattered outside the cave. They were probably killed by the mutant dragon-tailed tiger. The entire body of a ferocious tiger beast was a treasure, especially its bones, which were extremely valuable. The value of the variant dragon-tailed tiger was even greater. It was said that the bones of the variant dragon-tailed tiger could be refined into an avatar of the deity realm. It was extremely precious. Those cultivators must have seen this mutated dragon-tailed tiger by chance and were tempted to kill it out of greed. The strongest of the cultivators who besieged the variant dragon-tailed tiger was at the 3rd firmament of the divine fire realm. He was also quite a powerful cultivator. The rest were all at the void god realm. With such a group of experts working together, their strength was naturally abnormally strong. Dealing with an ordinary dragon-tailed tiger would be a piece of cake. However, against a variant dragon-tailed tiger, Lin Feng felt that it would not be an easy task. The strength of a variant dragon-tailed tiger was more than 10 times, or even dozens of times stronger than an ordinary dragon-tailed tiger of the same level. Although the variant dragon-tailed tiger that was besieged was only at the 2nd firmament of the divine fire realm. However, it would be extremely difficult for those cultivators to kill this variant dragon-tailed tiger. Lin Feng immediately lost interest in watching and walked into the distance. Not long after, he heard shrill screams coming from the valley where the battle was taking place. It was obvious that the cultivators who besieged the variant dragon-tailed tiger had been killed. This was just the beginning. Lin Feng believed that as time passed, those cultivators who besieged the variant dragon-tailed tiger, more and more people would die. He left the area and walked towards the depths of the mountain range. Suddenly, more than 10 scarlet-eyed demon boars appeared in the forest. These scarlet-eyed demon boars were famous ferocious beasts. It was rare to see such ferocious beasts in the outside world. The scarlet-eyed demon boars had a pair of curved and huge fangs. Each of these fangs was about 1 meter long. They were like 2 sharp curved blades that flickered with a cold light. The scarlet-eyed demon boars' bodies were covered with an armor-like stratum corneum. Their eyes were red and flickered with a cold light. The scarlet-eyed demon boars let out low growls and pounced towards Lin Feng. Those scarlet-eyed boars were extremely fast. They looked like bolts of lightning as they rushed towards Lin Feng. Their sharp tusks were aimed at Lin Feng's body. Oomph! Lin Feng snorted and raised his hand to slash out. A dazzling sword chi condensed and formed. It slashed towards the scarlet-eyed demon boars. These scarlet-eyed demon boars reacted quickly and used their fangs to block. Clang, clang, clang. A series of violent collisions rang out. The scarlet-eyed demon boars were forced back. These scarlet-eyed demon boars' fangs were extremely hard and did not suffer any damage. After seeing Lin Feng's strength, they dispersed in a hubbub. The scarlet-eyed demon boars ran away. The meat is gone. The 4 sacred birds shouted and chased after them. Not long after, the 4 sacred bird returned with a scarlet-eyed demon boar that it had killed in its claws. The 4 sacred bird was an omnivore. There was nothing that it did not eat. Ever since it had eaten Lin Feng's roast meat last time, it had been thinking about having another roast meat feast. When night comes, we can roast a whole pig. It should taste good. Lin Feng stroked his chin and said. The 4 sacred bird almost drooled when it heard this. Not long after, Lin Feng discovered a powerful restriction. He was slightly surprised and said, "The magic treasure of Myriad Weapons Mountain should be sealed in a restriction like this, right?" The 4 sacred bird nodded and said, "Yes, master. These restrictions are the ones that seal the magic treasure. Any cultivator could try to break these restrictions. However, these restrictions were very terrifying. They could release all kinds of terrifying attacks. Therefore, many cultivators would join forces to attack the restrictions and forcefully destroy them before taking the treasures inside. It was just that these restrictions were extremely powerful, so it was very difficult to destroy them with brute force. For others, breaking these restrictions would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. However, for Lin Feng, breaking these restrictions was not difficult at all. When he approached the restriction, he sensed a terrifying fluctuation coming from it. The restriction was brewing a powerful attack, and it was about to attack Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng did not give the restriction the chance to do so. He used the Celestial Master Sex Formation splitting technique and used the most domineering method to forcefully tear apart the restriction. He then took out a huge axe from the restriction. The huge axe emitted boundless killing intent, and there was still the fresh blood of gods and demons on it. In the past, it was definitely a terrifying killing weapon that could kill gods and demons. Chapter 17:18. In the middle of the night, the roars of beasts could be heard from time to time. Lin Feng found a place and made a bonfire. Then, he cut open the belly of the scarlet-eyed boar and cleaned it. He put all kinds of seasonings on it and started roasting it. Bibi and Dragon Rabbit also flew out of the mountain river ring. Together with the 4 sacred birds, they stared at the suckling pig on the bonfire. Then, they all started to drool. Even the winged cobra, the 4 overlords, the dark subduing devil beast, the horned fierce god tiger, the silverback scarlet armored beast, and the blazing 3-tailed demon wolf couldn't resist the temptation of the roast meat. They all came out with their eyes wide open. After the suckling pig was done, Lin Feng cut it open and distributed it to everyone. These guys were all eating with relish. Occasionally, cultivators would pass by. Those cultivators smelled the aroma of the roast meat and couldn't help but want to befriend Lin Feng and try the delicious roast meat. However, when they got close to Lin Feng, they were all scared out of their wits. That was because there was a group of overlord-level beasts gathered around the bonfire. Those cultivators were so scared that they turned around and ran. These beasts are eating roast meat? Could it be that the kid was captured by a few overlord beasts and is being roasted for them? Some cultivators muttered. If that's the case, that kid is too unlucky. Another cultivator said. Clearly, these fellows weren't full yet. Then, under the four holy birds' cries, several feral overlords rushed into the forest with the four holy birds. Not long after, they brought back a dozen feral beast corpses. Lin Feng cut open the bellies of the corpses and continued to roast the meat. One after another, many cultivators saw what was happening, and the news quickly spread out. At first, the news was that there were a few overlords in Myriad Weapons Mountain who liked to eat roast meat and would capture cultivators to cook for them. However, the news became more and more ridiculous. In the end, it was even passed down that there were a few overlords in Myriad Weapons Mountain who liked to eat roast human meat. These overlords were extremely cruel and would directly roast the cultivators they caught over the fire. This news even caused quite a bit of panic for a while. In the next few days, Lin Feng continued to look for some restrictions during the day, and then he would break them to look for treasures. At night, he would roast meat. Of course, not all of the restrictions in the 10,000 Weapons Mountain contained treasures. There were many restrictions here, but the ratio of them containing treasures was very small. However, Lin Feng's speed of breaking restrictions was too fast, so he still collected more than 100 powerful divine tools in 3 days. Late at night, sounds of battle could be heard from afar. Chapter 1719. The four sacred birds were at the 8th layer of the Divine Fire Realm. They were facing a cultivator at the 3rd layer of the Divine Fire Realm. They had the right to be arrogant. However, the four sacred birds had concealed their aura, so it was hard for others to sense their cultivation. The four sacred birds were the true masters of disguising themselves as pigs to eat tigers. They pretended to be weak, but their strength was incomparably tyrannical. Damn bird, I'll tear you apart. The cultivator at the 3rd layer of the Divine Fire Realm roared and sent a palm strike at the four sacred birds. No matter what, he was still a Divine Fire Realm cultivator. He was actually looked down upon by a bird. Naturally, he was incomparably furious. Too weak. Grandpa Bird can kill you with one claw. The four sacred birds were extremely arrogant. They stretched out their claws and directly clawed at the cultivator. The four sacred birds were too fast. They arrived before the 3rd layer cultivator in an instant and easily dodged his attack. Then, they clawed at his face. Pooh! The claws of the four sacred birds were incomparably sharp, directly leaving behind a very deep wound on the face of this 3rd layer Divine Flame Realm cultivator. Blood immediately flowed out. Then, the four sacred birds suddenly flapped their wings and swept the cultivator away. Trash! You don't even have the right to die at Grandpa Bird's hands. The four holy birds raised their heads with a proud and arrogant expression on their faces. This bird is so powerful. Lu Yaomei and the others looked at each other in dismay. Lu Yaomei and the others were also quite strong. For example, Lu Yaomei was at the 10th layer of the Void Spirit Realm. She was only a step away from breaking through to the Divine Fire Realm. As for the other 2 women and the 4 young masters, their cultivations were about the same. If they weren't at the 9th layer of the Void Spirit Realm, then they were at the 10th layer of the Void Spirit Realm. However, their cultivations were clearly too weak in front of the cultivator at the 3rd layer of the Divine Fire Realm. However, the 4 sacred birds had the strength to instantly kill that cultivator. From this, one could infer how powerful this arrogant bird was. Lu Yaomei originally thought that Lin Feng was someone who only knew how to talk, but now she knew that Lin Feng was definitely not a simple person. Even his mount was so powerful. Could he be weak? She thought of the time when she had rushed towards Lin Feng with a whip and wanted to teach Lin Feng a lesson. Lu Yaomei felt a little embarrassed. At that time, he thought that Lin Feng's cultivation was not high enough and had escaped. Only now did he realize that Lin Feng was simply being merciful and giving him face. Who the hell is this guy? Lu Yaomei couldn't help but mutter in her heart as she looked at Lin Feng with narrowed eyes. Seeing that Lin Feng wasn't worried at all, Lu Yaomei knew that Lin Feng was confident in dealing with the dungeon creatures. That guy didn't look like someone who would suffer a loss. You're courting death. Seeing his subordinate being swept away by a bird, the fierce-looking cultivator's face was filled with a gloomy expression. First, he was despised. Then his subordinate was seriously injured by a bird. The fierce-looking cultivator felt incomparably sullen. Right now, he only wanted to cut Lin Feng and the 4 sacred birds into 1,000 pieces. He wanted to vent the depression in his heart. Go to hell. The fierce-looking cultivator roared angrily and slammed his palm towards the 4 sacred birds. This person was actually an expert of the true God realm. Although he was only at the first heaven of the true God realm, he wasn't that powerful. However, he was still no small matter. Against such an expert, the 4 sacred birds were naturally no match for him. The 4 sacred birds cried out, "I'm scared to death. I'm scared to death. Master, save me." Lin Feng pursed his lips. The 4 sacred birds had failed to act cool. Now, they had embarrassed themselves. Lin Feng took a step forward and threw a punch at the cultivator's face. Sensing the power of Lin Feng's palm, the fierce-looking cultivator's expression suddenly changed. He didn't dare to hesitate. The palm that was originally aimed at the 4 sacred birds changed direction and slapped towards Lin Feng. Who would have thought that at that moment, Lin Feng would take his hand back and kick him? Bang! This kick landed on the fierce-looking cultivator's abdomen. It directly scattered his magic power. The fierce-looking cultivator felt as if his internal organs were burning. He hugged his abdomen and knelt on the ground, his body twitching violently. Is this a battle between true God realm experts? This is basically a street fight between hooligans, okay? Seeing the battle between Lin Feng and the fierce-looking cultivator, Lu Yaomei and the others were speechless. There was no magic power competition like they had imagined, nor was there a sacred art duel like they had imagined. He only kicked out, and then the battle ended. Do you know who I am? The fierce-looking cultivator gritted his teeth and said, "Slap." Lin Feng slapped him hard on the face. "If you don't tell me, how would I know? Let me guess. You really deserve a beating." After slapping this cultivator, Lin Feng said angrily, "I'm from the underground city." The fierce-looking cultivator gritted his teeth and said, "Slap." Lin Feng slapped him again. Last time, he slapped the left side of his face. This time, he slapped the right side of his face. 2 slaps. The fierce-looking cultivator's face was swollen. It was swollen like a pig's head. "Why are you still hitting me?" The fierce-looking cultivator asked gloomily. "You dare to threaten me? I'll slap you." Lin Feng curled his lips. The fierce-looking cultivator wanted to cry but had no tears. Today, he met a person who was not afraid of anything. He also felt extremely unlucky. "We were wrong about today's matter. Please spare us." The fierce-looking cultivator begged. He could also see that Lin Feng was not afraid of anything. Threatening him was useless. The one who would suffer was him, so he might as well beg for mercy. However, the fierce-looking cultivator was extremely depressed. He had been beaten to such a state, yet he still had to beg for mercy. In his entire life, he had never suffered such cowardice. You know you're wrong. In this world, there are some people you can't afford to offend. Hand over your storage ring and quickly scram. Lin Feng curled his lips and said. The fierce-looking cultivator felt his heart ache. All the treasures in the storage ring were his life. If he handed them over, he would immediately become a pauper. However, he did not dare to not hand them over. The cultivator in front of him was too strong. If he did not hand them over, he would really anger this person. This person might even kill him. All of you, take off your storage rings and hand them to this young master. The fierce-looking cultivator was the first to take off his storage ring and handed it to Lin Feng. Then, the others also took off their storage rings and handed them to Lin Feng. Each of them was so depressed that they wanted to kill themselves. Scram. Lin Feng took all the storage rings and said coldly. The fierce-looking cultivators hurriedly left. They did not want to stay in this place for a moment longer. Lin Feng's gaze immediately turned to Lu Yaomei and the others and said indifferently, And you guys, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and hand over your storage rings. Chapter 1720. Lu Yaomei shrieked, "Didn't you say you wanted to help us? You even want our storage rings? What's the meaning of this?" Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. "Who says I'm helping you? Why should I act bravely for a just cause? Do you think I have nothing better to do than eat my fill? Then why did you attack those cultivators from the underground city? Did you want to rob them?" The woman with bright eyes, white teeth, snow-white skin, an exquisite face, and an elegant temperament asked doubtfully. She was called Xiao Yuling. Her voice was soft and pleasant to the ears. Lin Feng nodded. "Yes, I did. I just finished robbing a bunch of idiots. Now it's your turn. I've heard that you found a primal chaos jade. That's a precious treasure. I can use it to upgrade my life weapon. Don't waste my time. Hurry up and give it to me. Don't force me to attack. You're shameless. You're taking advantage of us." Lu Yaomei glared at Lin Feng angrily. Lin Feng glanced at Lu Yaomei's voluptuous breasts and said, "Whether I'm shameless or not, you'll have to follow me to the small forest to find out. Don't slander me now." Everyone knew why he wanted to go to the small forest. Xiao Yuling and Long Qian couldn't help but spit at Lin Feng. Lu Yaomei blushed and glared at Lin Feng. "Fellow Taoist, do you really want to be so overbearing?" An old cultivator said in a deep voice. This old cultivator was also a true divinity cultivator. He and the fierce-looking cultivator were both at the second heavenly layer of the true god realm. However, due to his old age, the old cultivator's chi and blood had deteriorated and his combat prowess had declined greatly. Thus, he was injured by the fierce-looking cultivator. "If it weren't for me, you'd be dead already. I'll give you face and not attack you. Now, I'll give you two options. First, hand over the primal chaos ancient jade and your storage rings. Second, let the three beauties follow me to the small forest. Then, I won't take your things," said Lin Feng with a smile on his face. He was still glancing at the three beautiful women's bodies. "Stinking pervert." Lu Yaomei glared at Lin Feng. Xiao Yuling and Long Qian also glared at Lin Feng, cursing Lin Feng for being shameless. They could curse him as much as they wanted, but Lin Feng didn't care. If the three beauties really wanted to follow him to the small forest, Lin Feng would be more than happy to welcome. Of course, that was nothing more than a pipe dream. Of course, they wouldn't follow him to the small forest. These people didn't want to hand over their storage rings and the primal chaos ancient jade. However, they couldn't do anything about it. Lin Feng was too strong. The fierce-looking cultivator was at the true god realm, but he couldn't even take one move from Lin Feng. These people, naturally, they couldn't be Lin Feng's match. "All right." The true god realm old man nodded. He took out a palm-sized jade. This jade was the color of chaos. It was the primal chaos jade. This was a treasure passed down from the primal chaos era. It was even more precious than a primal chaos stone. Then, the group took off their storage rings and handed them to Lin Feng. "You're shameless." Lu Yaomei gritted her teeth and said as she handed the storage rings to Lin Feng, "Why don't you follow me to the small forest? I'll let you know what it means to be shameless." Lin Feng said with a smile. Lu Yaomei glared at him. She stepped on Lin Feng's foot. After getting what she wanted, she walked to the side proudly. Lin Feng smiled bitterly. This woman's foot was really heavy. After taking everyone's storage rings, Lin Feng grinned and said, "Thank you for your storage rings. These storage rings and the primal chaos ancient jade are my rewards for saving you." The group of people wailed in their hearts. "That wasn't even a reward, okay? You were the one who robbed them, okay? You robbed us of our treasures, and now you're saying that you're a righteous person. How can you be so shameless?" Of course, no matter how much they slandered Lin Feng in their hearts, they didn't dare to say it out loud. Lu Yaomei snorted and said, "Don't be too happy now. You just let those people from the underground city go. They won't let you go. When the time comes, there will be experts coming to take revenge." "What kind of power is this underground city?" Lin Feng asked curiously. "You don't even know about the underground city?" Lu Yaomei looked at Lin Feng suspiciously. The others also looked at Lin Feng as if they were looking at a monster. Lin Feng said calmly. What's so strange about not knowing? Lu Yaomei snorted and said, the underground city is a place of evil. Countless evil cultivators gather there. There's an unwritten rule in the 9 provinces that no matter how big of a mistake one makes, no matter what kind of power one is being chased by, as long as one can escape to the underground city, no power can chase after them. So it's a city of evil. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. The underground city was very similar to the ancient city of chaos in the banished world. They could both protect cultivators who were being chased. Lu Yaomei nodded and said, it can indeed be called a city of evil. However, the underground city's power is incomparably terrifying. Now that you've offended someone from the underground city, let's see how you're going to deal with this. Lu Yaomei had a gloating expression on her face. The people I've offended are just ordinary cultivators from the underground city, not the city lord. What's there to be afraid of? I can't wait for that fierce-looking guy to quickly invite experts to take revenge on me. Lin Feng grinned. Why? Could it be that you're a masochist? Lu Yaomei couldn't help but carefully size up Lin Feng. Lin Feng said, you're the masochist. After pausing for a moment, he continued, the experts that guy found must have a lot of treasures on them. When the time comes, I can rob those experts of their treasures and make a fortune. When the group of people heard Lin Feng's explanation, they almost fell to the ground. Could it be that this guy was a notorious bandit? Let's meet again, huh? Lin Feng jumped onto the 4 holy birds. Then, he waved his hand. The 4 holy birds spread their wings and flew into the distance. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared without a trace. Lu Yaomei retracted her gaze and said, who do you think this guy is? He's so young and such a powerful expert. He shouldn't be a nobody in the 9 provinces, right? Everyone else had a thoughtful expression on their faces. Lung Qian said, the 9 provinces is too big. I don't know how many outstanding geniuses there are. Perhaps he's such a person. I wonder if this guy can enter the prodigy role? Lu Yaomei asked. There are only 100 people on the prodigy role. Anyone who can enter the prodigy role is a heaven-defying existence. This person is probably still lacking. The first firmament true god old man said. Chapter 1721. In the following period of time, Lin Feng continued to crack the restrictions in the Myriad Weapons Mountain to search for divine weapons. He obtained more than 1,000 divine weapons one after another. His harvest was extremely huge. The restrictions in the Myriad Weapons Mountain were more or less cracked by others, so Lin Feng left the Myriad Weapons Mountain. The only regret was that Lin Feng did not find the legendary Emperor weapon in the Myriad Weapons Mountain. The other cultivators did not find it either. If an Emperor weapon really appeared, it would definitely cause a huge commotion. Perhaps the legend of the Emperor weapon was really just a legend. There was actually no Emperor weapon in the Myriad Weapons Mountain. He planned to return to Snow City, because he had gained enough from entering the Lost World this time. Lin Feng was very satisfied. As for the deepest part of the Lost World, Lin Feng did not go there. That was a place that only top experts were qualified to go. There were even more than one Heavenly God Realm experts there. The treasures inside would be left for those Heavenly God Realm experts to fight for. Lin Feng flew out of the Lost World. There were cultivators like Lin Feng who chose to leave the Lost World. These cultivators might have also obtained a fortuitous encounter and were quite satisfied with their fortuitous encounter. Knowing when to give up and when to retreat was the philosophy of life. Just as he was about to leave the Lost World, an earth-shattering sound came from the deepest part of the Lost World. Endless divine lightning descended. Amidst the lightning, a mysterious palace appeared. That palace floated in the sea of lightning. It was mysterious and unfathomable. Many people were shocked, and they all flew towards the ancient lightning palace. However, Lin Feng had already decided to leave, so he did not return. He planned to rest in Snow City for the time being, and then look for his father's old friend, Duguya. If he could find Duguya, he would follow Duguya and cultivate for a period of time. Lin Feng was well aware of his own situation. Even though his strength had increased by leaps and bounds, he still couldn't be considered an extremely strong cultivator. The true experts were those heavenly gods, giant gods, and even boundary emperors. If he wanted to rescue his mother, he had to continue improving his cultivation. His father had the immortal divine blood. His mother and uncle had the sovereign emperor blood. In the battle back then, his uncle died in battle. His mother was suppressed. It was hard to imagine just how terrifying was the enemy to have such strength. Therefore, at this stage, Lin Feng wanted to increase his cultivation as much as possible and accumulate strength. He left the Lost World and flew in the direction of Snow City. Lin Feng was still muttering in his heart. If that woman, Xue Qianwu, dared to appear again, it would not be a problem for him to suppress her with his current strength. As long as this woman dared to appear, he would suppress her and turn her into his slave. When the time came, he would think of how to train her. Then he would be able to train her however he wanted. It was just that along the way, Xue Qianwu did not appear. She was probably still in the Lost World. That night, Lin Feng and the 4 holy birds landed on an island to rest. Late at night, a group of people descended. There were about 50 of them. Lin Feng discovered that it was actually Xue Zimei and the others. He jumped down from the tree he was resting on. Seeing someone appear, Xue Zimei and the others became alert. However, when they saw that it was Lin Feng, they heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Feng, why are you here? Xue Xian and Xue Fei shouted excitedly and ran to Lin Feng's side. Lin Feng said, after I came out of the Lost World, I returned to Snow City and rested on this island. I didn't expect that you would also come here. The 4 holy birds flapped their wings and shouted, so many beauties! Take them all! So many beauties! Take them all! Lin Feng rolled his eyes. Many of the Snow Clan's girls could not help but blush. There were also some bold girls who looked at Lin Feng with burning eyes. Many of the Snow Clan's girls knew that Lin Feng was young, handsome, and strong. They admired Lin Feng very much. After all, which girl did not yearn for love? Xue Zimei said, we're also passing by and just want to rest. Everyone, find a place to rest. We'll continue tomorrow. Yes, the Snow Clan's people found a place to rest. They rested for the night. Everyone continued on their journey. 3 days later, a flying ship flew by quickly. After flying for more than 10 miles, it came back. In the end, it stopped above Lin Feng's group. Over 100 cultivators flew down from the ship. They were all male cultivators, and their eyes were filled with evil intent. So they're from the Snow Clan. It's said that the Snow Clan's women are as beautiful as fairies. Today, I see that they really live up to their reputation. How could we let such a beautiful woman go? The group of cultivators discussed the matter, their eyes shining with lust. It was a naked desire. They did not hide it at all. Who are you? Asked Xue Zimei coldly. Haha, we're from the Yin-Yang Union sect. Beauties of the Snow Clan, come with us obediently, and we'll make you wish you were dead. If you don't know what's good for you, we'll have no choice but to force you onto the ship, said the group of cultivators from the Yin-Yang Union sect. When Lin Feng heard the Yin-Yang Fusion sect, he couldn't help but frown. The Tianwu continent also had a Yin-Yang Union sect. Could it be a branch of the Yin-Yang Union sect in the Zhejiu continent? In the Tianwu continent, the Yin-Yang Union sect was looked down upon by the righteous Dao, the demonic Dao, and even the evil Dao, because it was a dual cultivation sect. The cultivators in this sect were extremely open about the matters between men and women. Master and disciple would often get together and have sex. Moreover, there would often be a large group of men and women gathered together to do that kind of unspeakable thing. The scene was unsightly. It was extremely chaotic. This sect did not know what etiquette, justice, honor, or shame were. There was only endless desire. Moreover, this sect was extremely evil. The male cultivators liked to pluck beautiful female cultivators. The female cultivators liked to pluck male cultivators' yang qi. However, they would not pluck each other's yang qi. Instead, they would harm innocent people. Just as Lin Feng had guessed, the Yin-Yang Union sect in the Tianwu continent was a branch of the Yin-Yang Union sect in the Zhejiu continent. In the Zhejiu continent, the Yin-Yang Union sect was also an evil sect that everyone hated. However, this sect was extremely powerful. Therefore, it was still very prosperous. Ordinary forces did not dare to offend the Yin-Yang Union sect. Now that the cultivators of the Yin-Yang Union sect saw that the Snow Clan's women were so beautiful, they had evil thoughts. The Yin-Yang Union sect had many cultivators and experts. The leading middle-aged cultivator was at the 7th layer of the True God realm. There were also 3 experts at the 5th layer of the True God realm. Therefore, there were more than 50 cultivators at the Divine Fire realm. So many experts. They were extremely powerful. It was not something that the Snow Clan could contend against. The strongest cultivator of the Snow Clan was Xue Zixian. She had just broken through to the 4th layer of the True God realm. Therefore, the cultivators of the Snow Clan were too weak in front of the Yin-Yang Union sect. In the eyes of the Yin-Yang Union sect, the Snow Clan's top-quality women, they could not escape. Many of the Snow Clan's people were as pale as paper. They seemed to know that they could not escape. Many people's eyes were filled with despair. Chapter 1722. Let's fight. Even if we have to die, we can't let the Yin-Yang sect take us away. Shuezime gritted her teeth. The rest of the Snow Clan members were also determined. Clearly, they wanted to fight to the death. Lin Feng rubbed his chin. It seemed like he had to stand up and say something. He had a good relationship with the Snow Clan. Moreover, he had an ambiguous relationship with Shuezime. Xue Xian and Xue Fei were also infatuated with him. Lin Feng felt that the two sisters would not object if he asked them to follow him to the little forest. However, Lin Feng felt that he was too pure. After such a long time, he had not dragged the two beauties to the little forest. If it were any other man, he would have gone berserk long ago. Now, the Snow Clan's people were all beautiful women. No wonder the Yin-Yang Union sect's people wanted to take them away. In this group, there was only one man, Lin Feng. If he did not stand up now, he would be too cowardly. Lin Feng said indifferently. The Yin-Yang sect is a bunch of perverts. You people are all looking for trouble, yet you still dare to come out? Do you not know how to write the word death? In fact, Lin Feng did not know much about the Yin-Yang sect of the 9 prefectures. The Yin-Yang sect of the Tianwu continent was hated by everyone, so they usually did bad things behind the scenes. However, the Yin-Yang sect of the 9 prefectures was much more arrogant because of their strength. The members of the Yin-Yang fusion sect had already noticed Lin Feng. How could they not notice Lin Feng among a group of beauties? Now that they heard Lin Feng mocking the Yin-Yang sect, they were all shocked. The faces of the cultivators of the Yin-Yang Union sect darkened. Who was this kid? A mere divine fire realm cultivator? He dared to mock the Yin-Yang sect in front of so many experts? Did he want to die? The 7th heavenly layer cultivator of the Yin-Yang Union sect was called He Lu Shui. His pair of sinister eyes looked coldly at Lin Feng and said with a sinister smile, "Brat, do you know that with what you just said, no one in this world can save your life? Have you thought about how you want to die?" Lin Feng sneered and said, "Just with a bunch of trash like you? You want to kill me too? It's truly laughable to the extreme. Look at how weak all of you are, and how pale your faces are. You've been squeezed dry since long ago, right? A bunch of perverts. I can kill you with a single slap." Hearing Lin Feng's words, everyone was dumbfounded. The people of the Snow Clan looked at each other. Then, he laughed bitterly. They didn't expect that Lin Feng would be so arrogant at this time. After all, the other party was filled with experts. True God Realm powerhouses were 20 people. Moreover, there were more than 100 Void Spirit Realm and Divine Flame Realm cultivators. Such a huge force. It was simply invincible. Lin Feng's cultivation wasn't weak, but Shuezime and the others guessed that Lin Feng's cultivation was at most equivalent to a 3rd or 4th heavenly layer true god. But the leader of the Yin-Yang Union sect, He Lu Shui, was a 7th heavenly layer true god. At this level, he could almost instantly kill a 3rd or 4th heavenly layer true god. So Shuezime and the others didn't understand where Lin Feng got the courage to be so arrogant. Perhaps it was because he didn't know how strong He Lu Shui was? He didn't know how many experts the Yin-Yang Union sect had, right? F***CK. You don't know what's good for you. You actually came to the Yin-Yang Union sect to show off. Capture this brat for me. I'm going to cut him into pieces. He Lu Shui's sinister voice rang out. His voice contained monstrous killing intent. In He Lu Shui's eyes, Lin Feng was just an ant. And now, an ant dared to provoke a dragon. How could he tolerate this? Lu Shui didn't want to kill Lin Feng directly because he thought that Lin Feng should be killed directly. It would be too easy for Lin Feng. He planned to torture Lin Feng ruthlessly, then cut Lin Feng into pieces and let Lin Feng walk step by step towards death in fear. Yes, sir. After receiving Liu Shui's order, a third heavenly layer true god stepped out. He looked at Lin Feng with a sinister smile. Boom. That cultivator of the third sky of the true god layer grabbed Lin Feng. A terrifying aura spread across the place. They felt the powerful aura from this person. Many people from the Snow tribe felt that they couldn't breathe, their faces as pale as paper. Only Shuezime, Shuezisland, Shuezizhu, Shuezizhu, Shuezisling, and Shuezishian could resist this yin-yang union sect cultivator's aura. Lin Feng, be careful. Shui Xian and Shui Fei cried out in fear, worried that Lin Feng would be at a disadvantage. You aunt, how dare you be so fierce in front of me? Lin Feng raised his eyelids and attacked with sky-splitting slash. Dazzling sword light condensed. The sword light slashed at the third heavenly layer true god from the yin-yang union sect. Poof! There was a tearing sound. Blood spurted out. Everyone saw. The cultivator of the third sky of the true god layer from the yin-yang fusion sect was cut in two by Lin Feng's blade. His corpse fell down from the sky. Oh my god, so powerful? Everyone from the Snow tribe was shocked beyond words. That was a cultivator of the third sky of the true god layer, and Lin Feng had killed him in one attack. Shuezime and the others thought that Lin Feng's cultivation was around third or fourth heavenly layer true god. But now, it seemed that he was at least fifth heavenly layer true god, or even sixth heavenly layer true god. Had he been hiding his strength all this time? Shuezime couldn't help but think, you're courting death. You're courting death. Seeing that the third heavenly layer true god was killed, Liu Shui's eyes were filled with killing intent. He leaped out and attacked Lin Feng. All of you, back off. Lin Feng waved his hand. Powerful magic power wrapped around Shuezime and the others. He sent them hundreds of meters away, so that the battle wouldn't affect them. Shuezime and the others looked nervously at Lin Feng, who was being held back by Lu Shui. Lu Shui was a seventh heavenly layer true god. He was too powerful. They couldn't help but worry about Lin Feng. Lu Shui attacked Lin Feng with a palm. Facing Liu Shui's attack, Lin Feng sneered. He had broken through to the divine flame realm. Compared to before, his cultivation had undergone an earth-shattering change. Just nice. Lin Feng also wanted to test his combat strength. Facing Liu Shui's attack, Lin Feng didn't show any fear. He met it with a palm. Bang! The two collided. It was as if two gigantic mountains had collided. Lin Feng and Lu Shui were at the center of the collision. The space around them was shaking violently. Chapter 1723. He's actually able to fight an expert like Lu Shui without losing. Shuezime, Shuezisland, Shuezizhu, Shuezizhu, Shuezisling, and Shuezishian were all shocked. They were all at the true god realm. That was because they were true gods. That was why they knew. How strong and terrifying was a seventh heavenly layer true god cultivator. And yet, Lin Feng was able to fight a seventh firmament true god without losing. Now, Lin Feng's strength had deeply shocked them. Lin Gongzi is so strong. He's so powerful. Many young women of the Snow clan were astonished. They all looked at Lin Feng strangely. They had heard Shui Xian and Shui Fei talk about Lin Feng's strength. However, they had never seen Lin Feng fight. Now that they saw Lin Feng fighting a seventh firmament true god, they were shocked. The young women of the Snow clan realized how strong Lin Feng was. He was far stronger than what Shui Xian and Shui Fei had said. Bang bang bang, Lin Feng and Lu Shui clashed again and again. He used several powerful emperor techniques, such as the 9 slashes of the Demon Emperor and the Seal of Life and Death. Lu Shui also used several powerful divine abilities, such as the Divine Desolate Fist and the Absolute Thunder Palm. The two sides were locked in a fierce battle. No one could defeat the other. Lin Feng also tested his fighting abilities. He was as strong as a cultivator of the 7th celestial layer of the true god layer. Let's attack together and kill this kid. He Lu Shui shouted coldly. He realized that Lin Feng was not easy to deal with, but it was too difficult for him to kill Lin Feng alone. He wanted to join forces with others to kill Lin Feng. They had many experts on their side. With so many people attacking Lin Feng together, it was naturally possible to kill Lin Feng. Let's go help, Shuezime said. The Snow Clan wanted to rush over to help Lin Feng. Those from the Snow Tribe were much weaker than those from the Yin Yang Union sect. In the end, only a few people survived. Lin Feng was very clear about this. He shouted, "Stay where you are and don't move. I alone am enough to deal with these people." Deal with them alone? Everyone from the Snow Clan was dumbfounded. After all, the other party had over 100 experts. True God Realm powerhouses, there were still 19 people left. To deal with so many experts by himself, wasn't that a little too arrogant? The cultivators of the Yin Yang Union sect all had gloomy expressions on their faces. When had they ever been treated with such contempt? Now, all of them wished they could tear Lin Feng into pieces. "Kid, you've overdone it," Lu Shui said coldly. His killing intent towards Lin Feng was not concealed in the slightest. The rest of the people were also filled with killing intent. This group of experts began to condense powerful divine abilities. More than 100 experts condensed their divine abilities together. Terrifying waves of energy spread out. Those waves of energy could destroy the heavens and the earth. In the face of more than 100 experts' attacks, Lin Feng was not afraid at all. He continued to yell arrogantly, "Do you think you'll be able to win just because you have more people? Today, I'll show you how strong I am." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng began to circulate his sovereign blood, then activated his domineering aura. His domineering aura had been passed down from his mother's clan. Lin Feng rarely used his domineering aura. First, it was because he could not truly control it. Second, it was because once he used his domineering aura, it would be difficult for him to support it with his current cultivation level. He would fall into a weakened state. Therefore, Lin Feng was very cautious. He would not casually use his domineering aura. But today, in the face of so many experts, he could only use his domineering aura to defeat the Yin Yang Union sect's experts. Moreover, even if he fell into a weakened state, Lin Feng was not afraid. Because there were 5 overlords in the mountain river ring. They were all true gods. They were enough to protect him. "Kill this brat," Lu Shui shouted. His sacred art was the first to condense. Then, he used the condensed sacred art and attacked Lin Feng. Soon after, the other cultivators' sacred arts were also condensed. All kinds of sacred arts rushed towards Lin Feng from all directions, attacking Lin Feng. Seeing this scene, Shuezime and the others were so scared that their faces turned pale. They were extremely nervous. So many strong cultivators were attacking at the same time. Could Lin Feng stop them all by himself? Domineering aura release. At this time, Lin Feng finally activated the domineering aura in his body. He took a step forward. Next, from Lin Feng's body, the purple domineering aura overflowed. The moment the purple domineering aura was released, hundreds of experts condensed their sacred art. They all shattered. Then, the purple domineering aura enveloped all the cultivators of the Yin Yang Union sect. Bang, 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 the weaker cultivators' bodies directly exploded, and they died on the spot. No matter how strong Lu Shui was, he was still knocked unconscious. As his cultivation broke through to the divine fire realm, Lin Feng's supreme domineering aura, its power had also increased greatly. The Yin Yang Union sect cultivators who were not killed by Lin Feng's supreme domineering aura also fell towards the island below. "Oh my god, what kind of method is this? It's actually so terrifying." Shui Xian, Shui Fei, and the others cried out in shock. "Is it domineering aura?" Shuezime and the other girls were more knowledgeable. They had heard of domineering aura, but they had never seen it before. Now, they immediately thought of the legendary domineering aura. After using the supreme purple domineering aura, Lin Feng also felt weak. He had already communicated with the 4 sacred birds in advance. After Lin Feng used the purple supreme domineering aura, the 4 sacred birds flew out of the mountain river ring. Lin Feng directly lay on the soft feathers of the 4 sacred birds. "Hurry up and kill Lu Shui and the others," said Lin Feng. At that moment, Shuezime and the others came back to their senses and rushed into the dense forest below to look for Hilushue and the others. By now, Hilushue and the others had already been knocked unconscious by Linfeng. It was the best opportunity to kill them. It was not very likely. Shuezime and the others returned. Obviously, they had killed Hilushue and the others. "Take their flying ship and leave quickly," said Linfeng. Shuezime went to take the flying ship of the Yin-Yang Union sect. After that, the group of people quickly left. After they left, a dozen people flew out of the forest in the distance. Those cultivators' faces were still pale. How terrifying. He can use the legendary domineering aura. Is that person on the Tianjiao list? The Tianjiao list only lists the top 100 geniuses of the 9 provinces. He's not on the Tianjiao list. The 10 great celestial sects are about to hold the holy war. At that time, the sovereign list and the Tianjiao list will be re-ranked. That guy might be on the list. The group of cultivators discussed spiritedly. Chapter 1724. It took 10 days for them to return to Snow City. Lin Feng's body had already recovered during the journey. The beautiful girls of the Snow Clan kept throwing flirtatious glances at Lin Feng, but Lin Feng pretended not to notice. Lin Feng's lack of interest made the girls of the Snow Clan look at him with resentment. Those who didn't know, they thought that Lin Feng had done something terrible to them and then abandoned them. But Lin Feng really wanted to say that he had been wronged. He had done nothing. He was innocent. After returning to Snow City, Lin Feng went into seclusion. He had made rapid progress in his cultivation, so he needed to stabilize his cultivation. During this period of time, Snow City was bustling with people coming and going. Many cultivators who were heading to the Lost World often chose to rest in Snow City or replenish some necessities. Many of the cultivators who came out of the Lost World would also rest in the Snow City before leaving. Many things happened in the Lost World every day. Every day, new treasures were born. But that had nothing to do with Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't care about those things. They had nothing to do with him. After half a month of seclusion, Lin Feng stabilized his cultivation. Then he decided to leave Snow City. That night, Shuezime came to Lin Feng's place. Lin Feng told Shuezime that he was going to leave. "Where are you going?" Shuezime asked. Lin Feng said, "I'm going to look for an old friend of my father's. If I can't find him, I'll go to the Reincarnation Immortal sect and join them." Shuezime was very happy that Lin Feng was going to tell her about his plans. The two of them chatted for a long time. Shuezime also talked about the Snow Clan's current situation. The Snow Clan was declining day by day, while the Ice Clan was growing stronger. In order to survive, the Snow Clan had to pay tribute to the Ice Clan every year. They had to pay tribute to the Ice Clan except for some precious treasures. They even had to pay tribute to beautiful women. To a race, this was naturally a humiliating matter. Even the death of the previous patriarch had something to do with the ice race. However, the current situation of the Snow Clan had greatly improved. After Shuezihua became the leader of the Snow Clan, she worked hard and the Snow Clan developed rapidly. After so many years of recuperation, the Snow Clan had gradually recovered their former strength. Therefore, Shuezihua and the others had discussed and decided that the Snow Clan would not continue to pay tribute to the Ice Clan. Once he did that, he would definitely shed all pretenses of cordiality. As a result, the atmosphere in the Snow Clan was tense. "The ice race won't give up," Lin Feng said. "The Snow Clan is not easy to bully," said Shuezime icily. "Do you remember the sealed demon tower of the Snow Clan?" Lin Feng nodded and said, "Is there something special about the demon tower?" Shuezime nodded and said, "Actually, the Snow Clan can borrow a part of the demon tower's strength. That's a secret of the Snow Clan. This time, if the Ice Clan doesn't come, then it's fine. But if the Ice Clan really dares to attack Snow City, then we can borrow the demon tower's strength and kill all the Ice Clan's people," said Lin Feng. "I think we should take the initiative to attack. Instead of waiting for the Ice Clan to attack, we should provoke the Ice Clan and attract their experts. Then we can use the demon tower's strength to kill the Ice Clan's experts. Once the Ice Clan loses a large number of their experts, they won't be able to threaten the Snow Clan anymore. At that time, The Snow Clan might be able to fight back against the Ice Clan and become the true rulers of Origin Ice. Shuezime's eyes lit up. Before, the Seven Sisters had been discussing how the Snow Clan should fight back against the Ice Clan. They had never thought about provoking the Ice Clan. Women were in charge. When it came to certain things, women weren't as aggressive and risky as men. But then Shuezime sighed and said, even though that's a good idea, the Ice Clan has many strong cultivators. If the Snow Clan cultivators go to the Ice Clan's territory and provoke the Ice Clan, many of them will die. I don't want to see so many of my people die. A woman's soft-heartedness described Shuezime's current attitude. Why was it that the leaders of all the influential groups in history were mostly men? Why were there so few women in power? It was because they were too soft-hearted. Women were too soft-hearted. Therefore, when it came to many things, they didn't make the most beneficial decisions. For example, Lin Feng had suggested that the Snow Clan cultivators go to the Ice Clan's territory and provoke the Ice Clan. Maybe many people of the Snow Clan would die, but the Ice Clan cultivators wouldn't give up easily. When the Ice Clan cultivators arrived, they would use the Demon Tower to kill them. The Ice Clan's strength would be greatly reduced. That was the best choice for the Snow Clan. But Shuezime couldn't bear to see her people die, so she gave up on that idea. She was being too soft-hearted. Of course, it was understandable that Shuezime had made such a choice. After all, they were cultivators of the same clan. It was normal for him to be unable to bear watching them die so tragically. Lin Feng said, how about this? I'll leave 4 strong cultivators behind. They'll take the Snow Clan cultivators to the Ice Clan's territory and provoke them. With them there, the Snow Clan cultivators will be able to escape the Ice Clan's cultivators. What? For strong cultivators? What level are they? Shuezime looked at Lin Feng suspiciously. Lin Feng summoned the dark devil-subduing beast, the single-horned fiery god tiger, the silver-backed red-scaled beast, and the flaming 3-tailed demon wolf. What's that? Shuezime's eyes twitched when she saw the 4 overlords. She could sense how terrifying those 4 overlords were. The aura emitted from the 4 great ferocious beasts made her hair stand on end. Said Lin Feng, those 4 ferocious beasts have the strength of the 5th celestial layer. With their help, the cultivators of the Snow Clan will be fine. Lin Feng looked at the overlords and said, when the time comes, you'll become the Snow Clan's cultivators, but don't expose your strength. Escort the Snow Clan cultivators safely from the Ice Clan's territory to Snow City. Yes, we won't let you down, said the 4 overlords hastily. Lin Feng put the 4 ferocious beasts back into his mountain and rivers ring. When he left, he would leave them in Snow City, not now. Shuezime looked at Lin Feng excitedly and said, I didn't think you'd have such powerful subordinates. How many secrets are you hiding? Lin Feng smiled. What? You want to know? Come with me to my room and you'll know. Lin Feng put his right hand around Shuezime's waist. Shuezime's face suddenly turned red. She bit her lips and looked at Lin Feng with her charming eyes. She didn't refuse Lin Feng's intimacy. Chapter 1725. Snow Eagle City was one of the 81 ancient cities in the northern barbarian state. Its lord, Nangong Xuering, was a famous powerhouse in the state. 3,000 years ago, he was ranked on the sovereign leaderboard. There were 2 leaderboards in the 9 states. The first was the sovereign leaderboard, and the second was the prodigy leaderboard. The sovereign leaderboard was ranked every 3,000 years. It was presided over by the 10 great immortal sects. Powerhouses from all factions, be it immortal, demonic, or heretical, could participate. They were ranked according to their strength. 3,000 years ago, the Red World Fairy had become the strongest on the sovereign leaderboard. The Red World Fairy's rise marked the beginning of the Zenith Immortal Sect's decline. Of course, the Zenith Immortal Sect was still as strong as ever. Although it was much weaker than before, the other 9 great immortal sects added together were still no match for the Zenith Immortal Sect. This was the foundation of the Zenith Immortal Sect. Even though they had suffered great losses, they were still unimaginably powerful. Soon, the sovereign leaderboard was re-ranked. But in the eyes of many, the Red World Fairy was still ranked first. Because the Red World Fairy was too strong. 3,000 years ago, The Red World Fairy had only cultivated for 1,000 years, but she had already become the strongest in the 9 states. Now that 3,000 years had passed, the Red World Fairy's cultivation had risen to a terrifying level. The Sovereign Leaderboard also only ranked in the top 100. Therefore, the Sovereign Leaderboard mainly depended on the second to the 100th place. There was also a difference between the Sovereign Leaderboard and the Prodigy Leaderboard. The Prodigy Leaderboard was ranked once every 800 years. Only cultivators with a lifespan of 1,000 years or less would be ranked. Those with a lifespan of over 1,000 years couldn't participate in the Prodigy Leaderboard. The Prodigy Leaderboard would change every time there was a ranking change, so the competition for the Prodigy Leaderboard was extremely fierce. Countless people discussed the Sovereign Leaderboard and the Prodigy Leaderboard. Of course, many people were also talking about Nangong Xuerang. His ability to enter the Sovereign Leaderboard was a testament to his strength. It was said that Nangong Xuerang had been in seclusion for 1,000 years, cultivating an extremely powerful combat art. He wanted to show off his prowess during the Sovereign Leaderboard so that he could get a higher ranking. Of course, this wasn't an easy task. There were simply too many experts in the 9 states, so every Sovereign Leaderboard was filled with intense competition. Sometimes, one might still be on the Sovereign Leaderboard the previous time, but they might be eliminated early on the next one. Lin Feng told Lu Buoziu his address. As soon as there was news, Lu Buoziu would send someone to inform him. In the following period of time, Lin Feng stayed in Snow Eagle City. He had been waiting for news from Lu Buoziu, but there was no news from Lu Buoziu. This made Lin Feng very anxious. However, Lin Feng also knew that it was useless to be anxious. He could only wait patiently. During this period of time, Lin Feng went to the 9 Continents Alliance to ask them to help him forge a batch of divine tools. These large merchant associations controlled many shops, including weapon shops that could forge divine tools. However, the 9 Continents Alliance's asking price was too high. The 9 Continents Alliance didn't ask for origin crystals, but 50% of the finished divine tools. Lin Feng naturally didn't agree. After so many years, Lin Feng had collected all kinds of materials. In addition, he had obtained many storage rings. There were many precious materials in many storage rings. In total, Lin Feng estimated that he could forge 10,000 divine tools. The 9 Continents Alliance wanted half of the divine tools. The price was too high. It was simply bullying. After leaving the 9 Continents Alliance, Lin Feng went to other merchant associations. Although the prices weren't as high as the 9 Continents Alliance. However, the other merchant associations still asked for 40% of the divine tools. Lin Feng didn't cooperate with these merchant associations. Instead, he went to the Mercenary Association and asked them to help him find a weapon shop that could forge divine tools. Finally, with the help of the Mercenary Association, Lin Feng went to the black market of Snow Eagle City. There was a weapon shop in the black market that could forge divine tools. This weapon shop had 2 payment methods. The first was to pay 1/10 of the divine tools as payment. The second method was to pay at least 100 origin crystals for every divine artifact that was created. According to the quality of the divine tool, the price of origin crystals was different. The weapon shop gave Lin Feng a detailed list. Lin Feng didn't hesitate to choose the second payment method. In the 9 continents, origin crystals weren't that hard to earn. Even if he used up all the origin crystals, Lin Feng had ways to earn more origin crystals. However, the materials to forge divine tools were too hard to find. Therefore, he couldn't pay the weapon shop with divine tools. Lin Feng wanted to use these divine tools to build a powerful army in the future. Chapter 1726. He signed an agreement with the weapon shop in the black market, paid the deposit, and then handed over the materials to them. This was a big deal. Lin Feng's materials were enough to forge 10,000 divine weapons, so it would take a long time. He asked the weapon shop in detail. From smelting the materials, to forging, and to the finished product, it would take about 3 years. It was impossible for Lin Feng to stay in Snow Eagle City for such a long time. Therefore, he could only wait until the weapon shop finished forging this batch of divine weapons in the future before he came to take them away. This weapon shop in the black market had a certain relationship with the Mercenary Association, so its reputation could be completely trusted. Therefore, he did not have to worry that this weapon shop would cheat him of so many materials. This was the first time Lin Feng came to the black market. After coming out of the weapon shop, he strolled around the black market. There were many treasures that could not be seen in the outside world for sale in the black market. For example, if one killed a successor of a large power and obtained the treasure of that successor, they would naturally not dare to sell it openly to some trading companies or shops, because that would easily expose themselves. Wouldn't that be waiting for the experts of the other party to come and seek revenge? Therefore, many people would choose to sell these treasures that could not be seen in the light of day in the black market. The origin of the treasures sold in the black market was not questioned. One could often find a lot of treasures in the black market. Of course, the prerequisite was that one had to have foresight. This place was also filled with many fake goods. If one's foresight was bad in the end, they would only be deceived. Lin Feng stopped in front of a small stall. There were many cultivators gathered here. There were many tattered things placed on the stall. Many of the things looked like antiques that had been around for a long time. What surprised Lin Feng was that the stall owner was actually a Taoist priest. This Taoist priest was thin and looked to be in his 40s or 50s. His eyes flickered with light from time to time. He looked to be a very shrewd person. New treasures have been unearthed. They were all excavated from the graves of ancient experts. Everyone, come and take a look. The Taoist priest shouted loudly. Taoists usually thought highly of themselves. Therefore, it was rare to see a Taoist priest come out to sell anything, not to mention these tattered things. Although they were said to be treasures from the primordial era, it was obvious that many of the items were worthless. Is this guy a mountain-moving Taoist? Lin Feng muttered in his heart. The immeasurable Taoist was the mountain-moving Taoist. They were best at moving mountains and excavating ancestral graves. That damn Taoist had done many immoral things. This Taoist was so similar to the immeasurable Taoist. Young Taoist liked to sell the things he dug out from ancient tombs. Of course, there were many things that didn't have much value. Then, Taoist Wu Yang used swindling methods to sell as many things as he could. Lin Feng hadn't seen the immeasurable Taoist for a very long time, since he had parted ways with him in the outer realm. I wonder where that guy is now? Outside the realm? In Sky Martial Continent? Or had he come to the 9 regions? Perhaps both were possible. Lin Feng wasn't interested in such a small stall with a lot of junk. Just as he was about to leave, suddenly, Lin Feng felt that the heaven-swallowing jar was emitting a slight fluctuation. There seemed to be something on the small stall that was deeply attracting the heaven-swallowing jar. Lin Feng was shocked. What was it? Was it attracting the heaven-swallowing jar? He walked towards the small stall and squeezed into the crowd. Then, he carefully looked at the various things on the small stall. Rusty daggers, broken porcelain, treasured swords full of cracks, and so on. There were all kinds of things, but there were almost none of them that were truly valuable. Lin Feng glanced at the stall and saw a piece of black porcelain the size of a palm. His eyes twitched violently a few times. That porcelain fragment was actually made of the same material as the heaven-swallowing jar. The heaven-swallowing jar that Lin Feng had obtained was a broken one. He didn't know what kind of expert had broken it. Originally, the heaven-swallowing jar was the heaven-swallowing Devil Emperor's treasure. It was an extremely powerful emperor weapon. However, the part of the heaven-swallowing jar that Lin Feng had now was too broken. Therefore, it didn't have much attacking power. Now, Lin Feng mainly used the heaven-swallowing jar to devour all kinds of Dharma treasures. It wasn't impossible to restore the heaven-swallowing jar's great power in the past. However, he had to find the remaining fragments of the heaven-swallowing jar. Now, the fragment on the small stall was exactly the same material as the heaven-swallowing jar, and it caused the heaven-swallowing jar to fluctuate again. Lin Feng was shocked. Could that fragment be the missing part of the heaven-swallowing jar? Lin Feng was pleasantly surprised when he thought of this. He squatted down and pointed at the black fragment. "Boss, how much is that fragment?" The Taoist priest immediately grinned and said, "Young master, you have a good eye. This fragment is different from the rest. It's made of an extremely ancient divine material. Although it's broken now, this broken part can be melted in the furnace. Then, it can be added to other weapons to increase the power of the weapons. This damn Taoist priest was full of nonsense. How could a weapon be smelted so casually? A moment of carelessness. It could even destroy the weapon that had already been forged. Lin Feng said impatiently, "Cut the crap. How many origin crystals will you sell it for?" 1,000 origin crystals, the Taoist priest said with a smile. Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. This guy really dared to ask for an exorbitant price. It's a fixed price. 10 origin crystals. If you don't sell it, I'll leave immediately. Lin Feng said. Deal. The Taoist priest hurriedly stuffed the black fragment into Lin Feng's arms, as if afraid that Lin Feng would go back on his word. Lin Feng gave the Taoist priest 10 origin crystals, then took the black fragment away. If the black fragment wasn't a fragment of the heaven-swallowing jar, this deal would be a loss. However, if it was a fragment of the heaven-swallowing jar, then he would have profited greatly. He took out the heaven-swallowing jar and studied it for a while. Immediately, he was pleasantly surprised. This black fragment could actually merge with a gap in the heaven-swallowing jar. This meant this black fragment was indeed a fragment of the heaven-swallowing jar. This made Lin Feng very happy. When he approached the heaven-swallowing jar with the black fragment, the heaven-swallowing jar and the black fragment seemed to have a reaction. Both the heaven-swallowing jar and the black fragment emitted a shocking fluctuation. The black fragment flew out of Lin Feng's hand. Then, it merged perfectly with the gap in the heaven-swallowing jar. Next, a powerful fluctuation formed within the heaven-swallowing jar. An unknown change seemed to have occurred within the heaven-swallowing jar. This change caused the heaven-swallowing jar's terrifying power, which had been dormant, to slowly recover. Lin Feng was shocked. Was the heaven-swallowing jar, a broken emperor weapon, beginning to recover? Could it be that this broken emperor weapon was now able to unleash the power of an emperor weapon? When he thought of this, Lin Feng was pleasantly surprised. Chapter 1727. Lin Feng tried to communicate with the heaven-devouring jar, and he was pleasantly surprised to find that the jar could actually unleash a portion of an emperor armament's power. This was naturally a good thing for Lin Feng. With the heaven-devouring jar and the 9 demons painting working together, he would be able to unleash an emperor armament. His overall battle prowess would be greatly improved. Lin Feng was in a good mood, and his footsteps felt light as a feather as he walked. He headed out of the black market. As he passed by a black market auction house, an auction house employee who was handing out flyers gave Lin Feng a flyer. He looked at the contents of the flyer and saw that it was mainly about the treasures that would be auctioned off soon. And the main auction item this time was actually a mermaid. When Lin Feng had first met Angel, she hated people from other clans. The reason was that mermaids were constantly being captured. Then, the auction would begin. Angel had once watched her playmate who had grown up with her being taken away. Thus, the seed of hatred had been planted in the depths of her heart. Now that this underground auction house was actually going to auction off a mermaid, it would definitely attract many experts. Many people like to keep special female slaves in captivity. For example, fox spirits, mermaids, and so on. Mermaids were extremely rare, and every time they appeared, it would cause quite a commotion. Sir, there are many treasures in today's auction. This is only a portion of the auction items. Would you like to go in and take a look? A beautiful female attendant standing outside the auction house and greeting customers noticed that Lin Feng had an extraordinary aura and knew that Lin Feng was no ordinary person. She hurriedly walked over and smiled sweetly. Lin Feng nodded and said, "Lead the way." Please come in, sir. I hope that you'll be able to buy the treasures you like today." The female attendant smiled sweetly. Lin Feng stuffed 3 origin crystals between her round, snow-white, and enchanting peaks. Each origin crystal was equivalent to a large silver ingot in the secular world. 3 origin crystals were equivalent to 3 large silver ingots. Seeing that Lin Feng was so generous, the female attendant smiled like a flower and hurriedly arranged for a beautiful servant girl to bring Lin Feng into the auction house. She even arranged a VIP box for Lin Feng. The auction house was very large and could accommodate about 100,000 people. There were already about 60 to 70,000 people seated. It was a boiling cauldron of voices. The atmosphere shook the heavens. As time passed, the number of people gradually increased. About 2 hours later, the auction house was filled to the brim. Snow Eagle City was filled with experts, and there were many great powers. Furthermore, Snow Eagle City was an ancient city with many people coming and going. There were also many cultivators who passed by Snow Eagle City to rest. Thus, there were all kinds of people in the auction house. It was a mix of good and bad people. Lin Feng wasn't really interested in that kind of auction house. If it wasn't for the mermaid, he wouldn't have come to this auction house at all. Lin Feng had come. He was also here for this mermaid. He had heard from Angel that there were only a few thousand people left in the mermaid clan. This race, it was already on the verge of extinction. Presumably, the mermaid being auctioned today should also know Angel. She should be Angel's clansman, right? Lin Feng and Angel's relationship was more or less ambiguous. Since this mermaid was Angel's clansman, she could be considered to have some connections with Lin Feng, so he planned to buy this mermaid. Ever since he left the Nether Sea world, Lin Feng had lost contact with Angel. After bidding for this mermaid, Lin Feng planned to ask Angel how she was doing recently. Actually, he was more worried that Angel would be captured by other cultivators and then brought to the 9 provinces to be auctioned off. Lin Feng hoped that Angel would not have such a tragic fate. Soon, the auction began. One treasure after another was taken out for auction. There were indeed many treasures in the underground black market auction house. Many of the treasures were rare outside, but they appeared in this auction. However, Lin Feng was not interested in the auction items. He had been watching others compete. Time slowly passed. One treasure after another was taken out for auction. Under the guidance of the beautiful auctioneer, the atmosphere of the auction was very high. What surprised Lin Feng was that the underground auction house actually took out a quasi-emperor weapon for auction. This really shocked Lin Feng. It was a black jade plate with 9 ferocious beasts drawn on it. It was a demonic weapon. This treasure caused many cultivators to fight over it. The value of a quasi-emperor weapon was simply immeasurable. In the end, this quasi-emperor weapon was bought by a group of cultivators in black robes. After those cultivators bought the quasi-emperor weapon, they quickly left. They probably went to pay the bill and take the quasi-emperor weapon before leaving early. Lin Feng realized that after those black-robed cultivators left, many people also left one after another. He couldn't help but think, could it be? Those people who left were organizing their forces to kill those black-robed cultivators and snatch the quasi-emperor weapon? Killing and snatching treasures was a common occurrence in the world of cultivators. Therefore, there was nothing strange about it. The auction went on for about 6 hours. All kinds of auction items were sold. Next was the final auction item. It was the mermaid that was introduced on the flyer. "Bring it up," the female auctioneer said with a smile. Rumble. Immediately, 2 strong men pushed a 4-wheeled cart onto the auction stage. On the cart, there was a huge glassware. The glassware was filled with water. A mermaid was placed in the glassware. She had a slender and streamlined body, light blue hair, beautiful Mediterranean eyes, and a delicate and beautiful face, coupled with her fishtail covered in golden scales. It gave many people a strange sense of excitement. Many cultivators had lustful looks in their eyes when they saw the mermaid. I heard that once a mermaid comes out of the water, her tail will disappear and she will become a pair of legs. I wonder what's the difference between a mermaid and a female cultivator of other races. Haha, we'll know once we try bidding for it. However, there will definitely be many cultivators who want to bid for this mermaid. The competition this time will definitely be very fierce. Hee, there's strength in numbers. Why don't we work together to bid for this mermaid? When the time comes, we can all enjoy her together. That's a good idea. It's quite exciting just thinking about it, a cultivator said with a lustful smile. His eyes were also filled with naked desire as he looked at the mermaid in the glassware. There were many cultivators like this in the auction house. The mermaid clan's tragic fate. A large part of the reason was the greed and desire of these cultivators. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.